Barbara Cusack.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
We are TFR. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio. Conditional range. Conditional range. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Wednesday, December 4th, 2019. Missed last week's show. It wasn't planned, but we had that cyclone bomb going on, as they called it, and the wind was severe out here. We lost power and internet connection throughout the day. Wasn't able to make the show happen, so good to be back. Glad the wind's calmed down. Still got to repair the fence. Seems that no matter where I've lived in recent years, the fence continues to blow over in windstorms. And I live in the Pacific Northwest, not a place known for wind, but in the last 6 years, I've had the fence blow over 4 times now. 4 times. So the weather's definitely changing. Is it Mother Nature or, is it weather warfare? I lean towards the latter. In the headlines right now as we go live, we have an active shooter at the Pearl Harbor military base in Hawaii. And think about that, 3 days before the December 7th anniversary of the supposed Pearl Harbor attack by Japan that got us involved in World War II. Of course, that was a lie. Again, I'll remind people, Pearl Harbor. I just put out a video real quick if you want to take a moment to watch it on what's encoded in this active shooter that concluded at 3:30 p.m. Let's not forget that Hawaii equals 33, as does false flag, as does police, as does masonry, as does secrecy, as does order. But I'll remind people, Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 127, 12/7. They called 9/11 the new Pearl Harbor. And what buildings fell that day? 1, 2, and 7, 8 hours later. And the site where the buildings fell, now known as Ground Zero. Of course, Ground Zero in Gematria equals 127, as does Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Another story that's breaking right now that I don't have a lot of information on, I'm going to look at this in the next commercial break. George Zimmerman sues Trayvon Martin's parents and others for $100 million. I'm sure there's a great riddle to this one too. Every time George Zimmerman's in the news, it's news by the numbers. I'll take a peek at that over the commercial break. Other things buzzing. Kamala Harris dropping out of the election. She did that yesterday, December 3rd, at Tuesday, just like voting day. The name Kamala, or Camilla, however you pronounce it, sums to 123 in Gematria, so fitting day to drop out of the race. Also interesting is that yesterday was the 337th day of the year, and a span of 337 days to the upcoming election date, November 3rd, 2020. So 2 337s, 337 is the 68th prime number, Donald John Trump's 68, The Apprentice is 68, and speaking of Trump, number 45, when Camilla dropped out, it was her 45th day of her age. So it's got me wondering, could that be foreshadowing that Trump's to be a two-term president? It's not like he's running against the strongest candidates, but that remains to be seen. We had the London Bridge attack over the weekend, the second London Bridge attack. The attacker, his name was said to be Usman Khan. Khan, just like Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London. In Gematria, Khan sums to 74, like London, like stabbing, like killing, like Masonic, like occult, like English, like Gematria. And then right after that, Boris Johnson comes out and says that 74 terrorist prisoners are going to be released. 74, again and again and again and again. And let's not forget that Boris Johnson equals 158 like Freemasonry, and from the day Theresa May took office to the day Boris Johnson took office was 158 weeks right on the nose. Again, you learn this language. You see what's really going on worldwide, how the propaganda is staged, how it's contrived by the code, who's responsible. You know, all the people who see this and go, but who's responsible? Who are they? Again, Gematria tells you the answers. They equals 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society, like Rosicrucian. And it's not just to say that it's only Freemasonry. You know, certainly in the time that we listen to tonight's show, we'll hear the, I can't even think of his name right now, the other TFR host, Brooks Agnew, that's his name, Brooks Agnew. We'll hear his commercial, I'm sure, tonight about his book, Charm of Favor, and how the nation was founded by free men and it's been hijacked. But, again, not all Freemasonic lodges are equal. They're not all the same, but, again, I don't really believe that the nation's been hijacked by anybody. It's always been a nation for the elite, serving the elite. You know, brown people have always been the target. I don't think really much has changed in the history of the country from the beginning up to the present. And anyway, you'll hear that commercial tonight, him talking about those free men. I'm pretty sure Brooks is a Freemason. He blurts out things on his show like how he sold NASA their technology for their Mars lander in 96. Of course, Freemason's 96. I'm pretty sure Brooks is one. But yeah, you learn this code, you see the secret language of the people who rule over us and how they truly operate. So I could say more, but I've said enough. Let's oh, hold on, we got some sort of problem. I'm trying to connect with the call board, but I see that I am not connected to the call board. So let me resolve that problem. And I'm wondering if nobody's getting a notification that we have a show tonight, because there's only a few people on hold, and usually by this time there's at least 10. Let's see if that solves the problem. Well, I'm still not connected. Let's see. Little troubleshooting. Bear with me. I'm supposed to be connected to the call board, but I am not for some reason. So, man, it says I am. Let me try doing a little refresh here. Okay, there we go. Now we're in business. Well, Rambo is first in line tonight. I think I'm going to save Rambo till after the break. We've gotten used to having him at that time slot. He might need a little bit more time than what we have now up until the commercial break. Let's go out to Pinehurst, Texas. Another great caller. How are you this evening?
I would be first. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Thanks for calling.
Oh, yeah, just checked out your new website. It's pretty nice.
Thank you.
Registered and everything. I was trying to get you together because your line wasn't open, but I'm glad it's open now. So I watched your Kamala Harris video, and given that she was basically an establishment prop, who do you think is next? You think Booker's next to drop out?
Well, it would make sense. It reminds me that the upcoming election is the 59th, and then that's that other number stamped all over Black History, like how Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. Negro, slave, blues, Rasta, they all sum to 59. Motown Records came out in 59, so Kamala Harris drops out by the numbers. Yeah, Cory Booker very well could be next. I don't think he's polling too well, so.
Yeah. And moving on to the impeachment farce, what are some new revelations on that front?
Honestly, I haven't even been paying attention to it. I'm just so bored of it all. It's just, it's background.
Well, that's why I prefaced it by saying farce, because it is a farce.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is any numerical indicators that might indicate when it will possibly end. Because everybody knows it's a joke. I mean, it's kind of, and to be honest with you, I even think Trump is in on it because it only helps him.
Yeah, it does because it looks so dumb. Well, Mitch McConnell, before the thing even really got rolling, said it would all be over around Christmas time. So I haven't heard anything different since then. So that might still be the case.
Yeah. Interesting enough. All right, man. That's all I have to add tonight.
All right. Appreciate it, friend. You have a good night.
All right. Take care.
All right. Take care. All righty. Let's go out to, I believe, San Diego. You're on, San Diego. Uh-oh. Is the radio on?
Who's that?
Yeah, I hear some music. What's up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hold on. Let me go outside. Damn it. Oh, good old Taylor Swift, my buddy. Something.
Is that right? Okay.
Okay, take hold on, here. I gotta, okay. Oh, dude. They won't let me play you, over the loud anymore, so I had to have my headphones in. Brother Crackhead Paul here again. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hey, check this out just real quick. Tried to log into the site, and it said, we just sent you an email to confirm,
Uh-huh.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, shit. Hold on. You're still connected to my earbuds. This is bullshit. Hold on. Okay. Picked up my ear. Anyways, but I didn't get an email. It said check your spam, too. So it's not in there, too. So that's just one heads up. I don't know if you've had anybody else hit you up about that.
What's
And
your,
then, I guess the only other thing...
What name did you register under for the site?
My name or the username? It says like or nickname.
Right. What username did you sign up under?
Just what up, yo?
What up, yo? Okay. Is it all one word or what?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I didn't get that confirmation email.
Okay. I didn't find anyone who tried to register under the name What Up Yo. So maybe you just want to try it over again. Maybe you did something wrong there.
Yeah, I'll give her a shot.
Okay.
And then the other thing I just want to throw out is who was that? What country we just heard about did they just wanted to re-sign their reconfigure their their like declaration or their freaking, what do you call that? Like our constitution. Who is that?
I don't know. I missed the story.
No shit. Okay. Anyways, one country wants to revamp their constitution and stuff, and it's like, yeah, man. I don't know. Your thought on? I just thrown it out there. Like maybe we can get something. Agenda 2020. I was just talking with my buddy last night. If basically, my thoughts through presidency being the position of one person, it should be a committee or something like that. Like with maybe, who knows, 10 people from each state or whatever. But like I was saying too, like Trump or anybody that's making billions, jillions disqualified, you got to cap out at like maybe $100,000 a year annually, because those are the kind of people that can actually relate to most of us. But I don't know. That's the thought. And then who knows? I don't know what it would take to get on the board as to be voted for next November. But that would be sick. Revamp the whole shit. So, anyways, all right, brother. I'm gonna try to sign up again, and you have a great night.
All right. Take care, man. You have a good night. All right. Let's go out to Maryland. Maryland, thank you for calling in.
Peace. What's happening, Zach?
What's up, man?
Ain't too much, man. Have a blessed evening, man. Congrats on the website, man. It's a remarkable accomplishment, seriously. Wanted to touch on two things. I just had really two questions for you. One was, did you see? And I feel like it was almost like a bad dream. I couldn't believe my eyes. Like you said, I'm in Baltimore, so I'm coming down 95, and I look over at one of the big billboard screens or whatever, one of those digital ones, and I see a picture of Trump and Mark Zuckerberg next to each other for 2020. For the 2020 race. Did you hear anything about that? Am I tripping that I saw that, or?
Well, there was a story about how Zuckerberg was thinking about running, so that's interesting. I don't think he officially announced, but it was a thought. He said he was thinking about doing it, so.
Yeah, we actually saw it on a billboard, though, which was like, I don't know, that was just crazy to me, man. So just kind of want to throw that at you. Maybe you can do some gematria on that or whatever, but I guess the other thing, to take it to the sports, it's a lot of people online doing predictions, for who's going to be in the Super Bowl and everything. You already know. And basically, we're coming on the 100th year of the NFL. So you got a lot of people saying it's going to be Green Bay and the Browns. I don't know how that can possibly be, at least with the Browns. I can see Green Bay, but not the Browns. But here's a thought, maybe just something to think about. The Ravens, coming out of Baltimore, the Ravens are the original Browns. So could it be a Green Bay and, a Ravens Super Bowl? And just like I said, just throwing that at you. I'll take your thoughts offline.
Sure. Well, I've been talking about the Ravens for some time. The Ravens very well could be the team in the AFC. Again, ESPN did call this the year of the black quarterback. And
right.
Again, I think part of the reason they did that is because this year in August, it was the 400-year anniversary of slaves arriving in America, according to the history books. And, of course, that's a biblical prophecy. The word African-American equals 100. For the record, an African-American quarterback, Deshaun Watson, just got the 100th win of the season for a home team. That was Sunday Night Football over the Patriots. So I think we're going to see at least one black quarterback in the Super Bowl. It's also been a span of 42 years since Doug Williams was drafted, the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl, who won with 42 points. And he won it with the Redskins, Washington, D.C., which isn't too far from Baltimore. So, Baltimore is definitely a team worth considering. The Browns, I don't think so. But I said the same thing about how they dupe people into believing the Browns could be something this year, which just shows the power of media and the mind control it has over the masses, because the Browns never had a shot at the Super Bowl. But yeah, the Browns did become the Ravens, so that could have been part of the riddle. But I'm with you on that one.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, that's all I got, man. Like I say, just keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm going around trying to wake up as many people as I can. You'd be surprised how many people, once you start talking about the gematria, you can literally see them starting to light up. So, I appreciate you. You're definitely, I guess, the one to really break the total code for me. I knew about gematria, before I got onto your channel, but to actually be able to break it down the way that you've been breaking it down, man, I really appreciate you, man. You definitely opened my eyes. So I just thank you again, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
You're welcome. And before you go, I just got one question. Where did you first hear about it at? Where did you first learn about it at?
You mean the NFL thing or the Trump thing?
No, gematria.
Oh, gematria. I do a lot of studying just on my own. I probably saw it on like a YouTube video or something, and you have certain people inside of certain chat rooms as well where they kind of just throw out certain numbers where they like, such and such equals this, such and such equals that, and you kind of don't really know what it means at first, but the more and more you hear about it, you kind of, you start to understand it basically. But you're the one that broke the mold for me though, so I just heard it on YouTube a bunch of times and never really gave it two second thoughts. But at the same time, I guess I did because I'm constantly doing research on the Jewish community, period. Matter of fact, let me throw this one at you. For all of the meditation people that are in the chat, this has really been helping me, especially when, if you're the type of person that's suffering from anxiety or, just worrying all the time.
I call it the 84-65. And basically there's this breathing technique that they have online where this guy's breaking it down, where he's talking about, they call it box breathing. So essentially you breathe in for 8 seconds, you hold your breath for 4 seconds, and you breathe out for 6 seconds. And then while you have no oxygen in you, you hold that for 5 seconds. And then you repeat the process all over again, 84-65. And they call it box breathing. But that has been just instrumental in getting this bad energy off of me, you know what I mean? Just everyday living and just dealing with the things that, this world brings. So I want to throw that out there because, like I said, I study the Jewish community all the time. It seems as though they always have something good that they keep for themselves that they don't like to share with anybody else. And that's not to call out all Jewish people. I'm just talking about, just certain individuals just don't seem that they want to share their what they've learned or, what they maybe even got from somebody else. I don't know. But, yeah, 84-65, man, I want to throw that out there. And it literally has changed my life. So look up box breathing, everybody. It's just really some deep stuff, man.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, man.
All right.
And I'm just going to keep on listening, man. You have a good evening, Zach.
Yeah, you too. Take care, friend.
Thanks, man. You too.
Yeah, breathing, breath work. I used to have a friend in Seattle. It's actually how he made his living. He taught breath work every night. And there's a lot of power to breathing. So it can do a lot for your well-being, your health, anxiety, all that. So... All right, we got about 5 minutes till the break. Let's go out to Tennessee.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Bobby?
Not much. I was about to watch a movie with my son over here. I just wanted to mention one thing, Carolyn. You mentioned Pearl Harbor. Carolyn Kennedy is going to be christening the new USS John F. Kennedy on Saturday. I believe that'd be the 78th anniversary of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And, Rambo, he's always talking about the 54 code. And if you spell out 54, it sums to 1377 English extended. Well, if you look at the Islamic calendar, she was born 5/4/1377 in the Islamic year 1377. And the significant thing about 1377 is that's the ordinal value of Revelation 8:11. And there's a lot of interesting things when you're looking at the lunar calendar or the Islamic calendar. If you go look at, for example, the Lincoln assassination and Pearl Harbor, they were on the exact lunar date, just so many lunar years apart. One thing I want to throw out there, since I'm talking about Carolyn Kennedy, is she was born exactly 144 lunar months before the moon landing. And that's equivalent to 12 lunar years because a lunar year is just 12 lunar months. So there was a lot more with that. I didn't know I would get on this early. But, I just want to throw that out there about Carolyn Kennedy, and that's all I got.
Appreciate it. Very interesting as always, Bobby. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, take care.
Bye.
All right, we got about 3 minutes till the break. Let's go out to Georgia. Georgia, are you there?
Hey, sorry about the delay.
That's okay.
How you doing tonight, Zach?
Doing all right.
I had called in last week, man, and I was going to try to talk about it then, but I don't know, it just kind of blew my mind, man. I live near the Atlanta area, and there's a Kabbalistic school in the area, and I just happened to drop by there, man, and I was talking to this guy, and I ain't going to say no names or anything, but he told me this story of how they believe in the beginning God had a perfect system. And the female aspect, or maybe it was the male aspect of God, branched off and somehow ended up in what we call our universe. And it was akin to the way they talked about it, almost like a quantum computer. And the fact that it started writing its own code, but the code was flawed. But it chose certain individuals within the system to manage the code, and if you knew when the code was coming, you could manipulate it to gather energies and manipulate the energies which were collected. He said that's the same reason, and I don't know, I've just started researching this, but he said that's why you take YouPorn, Pornhub, all the major pornographic sites are owned by one company, and they're all based in Australia. And it's just one large collection base for it. And he said, it's all about the energies when it comes to that. And he said, on the other hand, you have people trying to get the word out about Gematria. And he says, you have to be very careful, because those who practice it without knowing and try to implement it make themselves visible to the ones who do it. And it kind of gave me a chill, because you had said you've had a few callers over the years that experimented with it. And I think the last guy said he was going to try to quit smoking on, can't remember the date. And I was wondering if you ever heard back from that guy.
He hasn't called back in yet. So, yeah, maybe he's listening tonight.
I hope so. And that was kind of weird, but
hey, sit tight real quick. The commercial just snuck up. We'll continue right when we come back.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination made from garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite feeds our body with the right nutrients to keep us healthy. Just listen to what Arthur has to say.
I was just calling to tell you what a great product you have. I had used this about 10 years ago after I had congestive heart failure. And it fixed me up and got me going for the last 10 years. Lately, I've been having heart trouble again, so I placed another order because this was the only thing that ever worked. And I just wanted to let you know that you have a great product.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, a song lasts forever.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smart car, smartphone, or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
iHeartRadio.
I'll see you there.
So, you love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
For 5,000 years, the world was ruled with wooden ships by one man. 242 years ago, a small group of free men crafted a new nation built on liberty and freedom. Global elites have been fighting to destroy this new nation called America ever since. Based on actual events, Charm of Favor tells a true story of how they corrupted the election system. They infiltrated federal agencies and murdered witnesses, judges, and even presidents to keep from being caught. Now, the largest and wealthiest crime syndicate the world has ever known has been drawn out of the shadows. They have killed hundreds of Americans and recently attempted to assassinate half our congressmen. Still, they escape arrest through an almost supernatural charm of favor. Read Charm of Favor and be prepared to open your eyes to what may lie just around the corner. Charm of Favors, available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. Gonna let that last caller finish up the point he was making. He was talking about how using Gematria within your own life might essentially open up a doorway for practitioners of the code to peer into your life. And that's an interesting thought. I have heard that it is dangerous to use this knowledge. Talked about this before. And again, as much as I've been talking about how it's used within the mainstream media and all the ways it's used every single day in this world, I've never experimented with trying to do things by the numbers. But a lot of people have called in and asked to see if there's something to it. So let's go back out to Georgia, let them finish their thoughts, and then we'll go out to Rambo next. All right, Georgia, you're back on.
Well, yeah, and, as I was saying, the guy kind of ended it with, like you were saying, that Gematria is dangerous, and and how dangerous the rituals that we practice are. And he was saying, like, Christmas and Easter and even Thanksgiving, all these things that we ritualize in the act of cutting down the tree, which he said was akin to a cremation of care ceremony, which, as above, so below, he said you got people who feel they are trying to attain the higher dimension, which are feeding off our energy, and people in the lower dimension were trying to get to our energy, which, he kind of lost me on, but I'm a simple guy, man, just trying to figure all this stuff out. But he also kind of had made more reference to a few of the things that Rambo had spoken of in the as above, so below. But just want to tell everybody, be safe when looking at it. Have your eyes open for sure. And I feel like we should be getting the word out about this, but I feel like it may be a temptation to some people to be like, let me try to do this to quit smoking, or, innocent, or maybe get a girlfriend. I don't know, man, if you can kind of manipulate the code. But I'll end it with this, which was kind of the craziest part of it. He told me a story of his son. He said, the best way I can give it to you is the way he had to tell his son. And he says, as far as the way he was telling his friends about it. And he says, if you look at Pink Floyd's album cover, and he was explaining to me that there's a Pink Floyd album cover that has a pyramid with a light coming through, and then it's split up into a rainbow color.
The dark side of the moon.
The original light. I'm sorry?
That's the dark side of the moon. Yeah, that's a famous album.
And he says that what that symbolizes is what they study and what it is, and it's the original source code is coming in, and they have found a way to fractal it so that they stand in front receiving the larger part of the energy, and as the little parts go down, they're called sparks. And our job and what the Creator has left us here to do is find sparks, meaning that there's no coincidence. Even if you run into a guy at a convenience store, you are meant to run into that random person because, and what your encounter with that person is, whether it be positive or negative, feeds the next chain. And we can only fix the whole thing because it's a flawed system to begin with, which is as cliche as it is, just being nice and loving each other. But they're trying to indoctrinate us in this all-encompassing love where you accept everything, whether it be good or bad, and that's what our downfall will be. And his words, not mine, until we finally surrender our consciousness to an AI quantum computer, just like in the beginning.
Well, that's very interesting. So, Appreciate
It is,
that.
and I'll keep you posted, man. I told him I was going to come back with him and buy him lunch. He probably didn't drink beer. So I'll see how it goes, and I'll let y'all know, man.
All right. Appreciate it, friend. You have a good night.
Hey, no problem, man. Y'all be safe.
All right. Take care.
All right, cool.
All right. Let's go out to the first caller of the night, the guest of honor, Rambo. How are you tonight, friend?
Oh, I'm awesome. Thanks to you, Zach. That was great last week. Thanks for you sharing your platform again. And the response was it was amazing. A response that I got from your audience. I appreciate all you've done for me. It was awesome experience.
Well, you always do great work. And by the way, sorry that I haven't gotten back to you about the login information. It's not quite done. I think he's having a little bit of trouble figuring out how to create this alternate login for the site, but he will get it done, and then pretty soon you'll be able to post on the site. So I'll let you know as soon as it's ready.
All right, I appreciate it.
Of course.
All right. I'll talk a little bit about. I want to add more to what I talked about last week, but I'm going to repeat some of the stuff I said last week, just to give context to what I want to present. I mean, not even those who heard it might not remember everything, or some might be hearing for the first time. So I'm going to repeat some of what I said last week because I got some more to add to it. But last week I talked about the significant and very esoteric topic of the St. Andrew's Cross, which is written of in not only one but two books of the Holy Bible, especially the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, which describes in undeniable detail the symbolism on the tarot card titled the Wheel of Fortune, which presents St. Andrew's Cross in its images. St. Andrew's Cross is an X-shaped cross formed on the tropical zodiacal wheel when you make a line between Taurus and Scorpio on one axis and Aquarius and Leo on the other axis. It was the Apostle Andrew who was said to have been crucified on an X-shaped cross. That's why it gets its name, St. Andrew's Cross. St. Andrew is the patron saint of Scotland, and hence the national flag of Scotland displays a white X cross on a blue background. And synchronistically, perhaps, the tarot card Wheel of Fortune is numbered 10, Roman numeral X. I do feel like this past Thanksgiving Day National Football League game between the Dallas Cowboys and Buffalo Bills was definitely part of a St. Andrew's Cross ritual. There were too many synchronizing details to be coincidence. The birthdays of the two franchises and the birthdays of their starting quarterbacks formed a nice, neat St. Andrew's Cross. Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott formed Aquarius Leo axis. Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen formed the Scorpio Taurus axis. St. Andrew's Cross and the Wheel of Fortune are described in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1. St. Andrew's Cross is displayed on tarot card number 21. That's the world card. Dallas Cowboys star running back is Ezekiel Elliott, who wears number 21. Also, the wheel references a circle and pi. Pi being the constant in the formula to measure circles. Pi is equal to 22 divided by 7. That's 22/7. That's Ezekiel Elliott's birthday, 22/7, 22nd of July. Now, the following, it's either coincidence or syncretism or elaborate rigging. You be the judge. After last Thanksgiving Day game, Ezekiel Elliott's 12 carries, he had 12 carries that night. It took him to a total of 227 carries for the season. That's 227, like his birthday, like pi. If you look it up right now, look at his total for carries in the season. It's 227. What are the odds of that? it was evident that Ezekiel Elliott, because of his name, jersey number, and birthday, was a key element of the ritual. His rushing attempt for a carry total of 227 further confirms his centrality to the ritual. All this alone would suffice for a ritual decode, but we speculated if Ezekiel would make some kind of headline in the game or even off the field between then and St. Andrew's Day, November 30th. It didn't appear as if he did, his 227 carry total notwithstanding. But the day after St. Andrew's Day, there was a winter storm across the United States, going from the Rocky Mountains all the way across the Midwest, all the way to the Northeast, a major storm. And I'm quoting from USAtoday.com. I'm just going to read from USAtoday.com. The storm system, dubbed Winter Storm Ezekiel by the Weather Channel, was causing havoc in more than 30 states. In the Midwest, more than 700 flights were delayed or canceled Sunday at airports in Chicago, Denver, and Minneapolis alone. The number exceeded 2,000 by Saturday. And this was the headline of that USA Today article. Winter storms triggered travel headaches in 30 states. Plane slides off taxiway in Buffalo. So for whatever reason, their report on Winter Storm Ezekiel, they highlighted in the headline Buffalo. So that was interesting. Just interesting synchronicity. So you could say Ezekiel did impact Buffalo in a big way after St. Andrew's Day. There is more to St. Andrew's ritual, which I'll speculate on. I admit it's only speculation. But first, in case some may feel that the Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius birthdays could be coincidence and not consciously lined up with the Wheel of Fortune tarot card and St. Andrew's Cross, what do most Americans think of when they hear the title Wheel of Fortune? They think of the decades-running popular game show hosted by Vanna White and Pat Sajak, right? That's what people think of when you say Wheel of Fortune. But do you think the Wheel of Fortune game show could be consciously aligned with tarot and astrology? I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous, right? Sajak and White were picked for their looks, charisma, and talent, right? Well, let's look at the symbols on the top two corners of the Wheel of Fortune tarot card. On the top left, the male angel represents Aquarius. On the top right, the eagle/phoenix represents Scorpio. It's Aquarius and Scorpio on the top of the Wheel of Fortune tarot card. Vanna White's birthday, February 18th, makes her Aquarius. Pat Sajak's birthday, October 26th, makes him Scorpio. So there you go, Aquarius and Scorpio, perfectly synchronized with the Wheel of Fortune tarot card and the Wheel of Fortune game show. So last week, I talked about why the St. Andrew's Cross zodiac signs were so important, because they occur in the middle of the season. Taurus is mid-spring. I gave the example of the Bavarian Illuminati, who chose May 1st as a founding date. Of course, May 1st was already a powerful date long before Bavarian Illuminati came along. This is ancient knowledge. Midsummer is Leo, mid-fall is Scorpio, and midwinter is Aquarius. I'm not saying that these are dark occult or satanic holidays or holy days. These times of the year have a natural, energetic power to them. If an evil person harnesses that power, it will work for them, just as it would if positive rituals are performed. The elite know of the power of mid-season energy, so they discourage the masses, either through institutionalized, mostly Abrahamic religions, who condemn them as satanic, or through science, a left-brained perspective that labels them hokey, superstitious, or even insane. But they then turn around and use these forces for themselves, knowing their benefits. So the midwinter holiday or holy day in the Druidic, Gaelic, Scottish, Celtic tradition is called Imbolc. That's the midwinter holiday. Imbolc. It's spelled IMBOLC. It's also known as Candlemas. Imbolc is celebrated every February 1st and 2nd. The Super Bowl is intentionally held in midwinter, literally as a high holiday. Even as Madonna stated in an interview once before a Super Bowl halftime performance, she referred to the Super Bowl as a high holiday. And a lot of people thought that was hyperbole. No, she meant it literally. She knows the esoteric reasons why it was put that time of year. So the Academy Awards, they're also held in midwinter. This year, the Academy Awards will be held the following Sunday after the Super Bowl to have maximum effect on human consciousness. This upcoming winter high holiday is unique because the Super Bowl falls exactly on Imbolc or Candlemas, February 2nd, 2020. And Imbolc is held February 1st and 2nd every year. So Imbolc celebrates the goddess Bridget, the Celtic expression of Venus. In Gematria, Venus sums to 54. This will be the 54th Super Bowl. So a lot of esoteric elements line up. In Gematria, Bridget sums to 49 and 41. Super Bowl sums to 49 and 41. It's also significant, the current, I guess, greatest of all time female marathon runner is Bridget Kosgei. She's from Kenya, East Africa. And she just recently broke the women's marathon world record, and she's completely dominating women's marathon. I don't think it's a coincidence that her name, Bridget, coincides with her success. I don't think it's a coincidence. This is an interesting synchronicity, at least, because Bridget is 49, Super Bowl 49. So the 49ers quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, he recently on Halloween night, Thursday Night Football, had a famous post-game ritual with the supposedly controversial, post-game interview with Fox reporter Erin Andrews. One axis of St. Andrew's cross is Scorpio Taurus. Jimmy Garoppolo, born November 2nd, is Scorpio. Erin Andrews, born May 4th, is Taurus. And her name, Andrews, as in St. Andrew's cross, has some synchronicity. And Jimmy G wears number 10, Roman numeral X. I just think that was a St. Andrew's cross ritual. I don't know if it necessarily translates into a Super Bowl predictive programming. I mean, not everybody can get there. They can't all, Dallas and Niners get there. But these are all rituals. I'll go more into this at a later time, but I have a theory as to why perhaps there are all these St. Andrew's cross rituals happening. The tarot cards that display St. Andrew's cross, the Wheel of Fortune, and the World also represent specific planets. The Wheel of Fortune represents Jupiter. The World card represents Saturn. That's Jupiter and Saturn. And that's very significant because a lot is being said of next year's upcoming Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. It's also known as the Great Conjunction. And that's going to be December 21st of 2020, the Great Conjunction. Also, think of the number 21, December 2021, how Ezekiel Elliott wears 21. His tarot card number 21, the world represents Saturn. So 12 and 21 are going to be big numbers next year. I also believe that last year, 2018, the death of George H.W. Bush on St. Andrew's Day is also part of the pre-Jupiter-Saturn conjunction ritual. And it's very significant that a president died on that day because there has been an an established pattern with Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions and its effect on United States presidents. And it's there are a lot of examples, so I'll go into it later. And it's also significant that next year is an election year. So there's a lot going on. A lot of esoteric forces are converging at the moment. And that's most likely because we're in a transition period between ages. We're moving out from the age of Aquarius, from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. So this transition period is where you're seeing a lot of convergence of these esoteric forces. So I'll go into that more at a later time. So I'll leave it at that for now. And thanks again for having me and sharing your platform.
Of course, very welcome, Rambo. Always interesting. Appreciate it very much. Chat likes your work, and look forward to next week. And I should be in contact with you in the days ahead to give you a login for the site so you can start posting your research as much as you want.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. You have a good night, Rambo. You take care.
All right, you too.
All right, see you, man. And just about those Thanksgiving football games, before Rambo's presentation, the thing I was really looking at for last Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving equals 66. And the Bears had a chance to improve to 6-6 in the first game of the day over the Lions. Lions and Thanksgiving both equals 66. 66 is the 11th triangular number. If you add 1 through 11 together, it equals 66. There's 11 men on each team in a football game. The master number. So the Bears became 6-6 against the Lions. The Cowboys lost on Thanksgiving and became 6-6. Again, Thanksgiving, 66. That game was also 66 days before the Super Bowl. Texas happens to equal 66. And then the Saints and Falcons game didn't have that type of riddle. There wasn't a 66 on the board in that game. But the Falcons did fall to 1-3 on Thanksgiving to start week 13. Matt Ryan got his 80th career loss. Saints equals 80. But if you go and look at the scores for all three of those games, the first game, the Lions lost. The Bears won with a score of 24-20. Lions equals 24. There was 24 date numerology that day. 24 plus 20 is 44. Detroit equals 44. The Cowboys and Bills game, the Bills won 26-15. That's 41 combined points. Dallas equals 41. And the Saints beat the Falcons, if I'm not mistaken, 26-18, 44 combined points. Saints equals 44. And two teams won with 26 points. It's interesting because the first Thanksgiving was the first Thanksgiving celebrated by George Washington was November 26th. And I believe the day Lincoln made it a federal holiday was also November 26th, if I'm not mistaken. So, again, the surface level riddles, I think they're typically the ones that are more useful in sports, but very interesting work as always by Rambo. All right, we got about 3.5 minutes till the break. Let's go out to Ohio. What's going on, Ohio? Ohio? Maybe just listening?
Yo, what's up, Zach?
What's up? Thanks for calling in.
Yo, so, okay. You guys can follow me on Instagram, at FUCK, the USA government. I just, I'm a little bit new to all this, but I do expose the government, the elite, the Freemasons.
Right.
I like your work, man. You do a great job. You guys can follow me again. It's at fuck the USA government. That's my Instagram.
Okay, just in the future, man. On my normal live streams, you can typically cuss, but when I do this one on Wednesday night, it is on Truth Frequency Radio, and you're not supposed to cuss on the TFR platform, just so you know next time. But I got you with the spelling.
When I made the username at first, I didn't know about all this, about all that.
Sure.
I understand.
Sure. But yeah, the Instagram handle is very memorable. So got it.
I will start to change it. Like I'll change the username to like Stop the USA Government.
Sure. Okay, so we got that. So what else is on your mind?
Yeah, so today, your app is great. I like your app. It's just phenomenal. I'm glad that you're able to do all that. So what's on my mind today? I would like to talk about my last post. It was about JFK.
Okay.
The guy the president that spoke the truth about the Masons, his own religion, the Vatican, and how they killed him.
Sure, his speech about secret societies, right?
Secret societies. I mean, that's really it's really satanic that these people killed JFK and they're still at large.
Right.
JFK. I was watching the movie Adjustment Bureau, and it pretty much exposes the truth that like all these when you become president, your future is already planned ahead. Like it's not really free. It's not free choice of anything.
Right. It's like you're a puppet on strings. Right.
100%. And it sucks. I mean, knowing that your future, even with basketball players and football players, all these guys were already raised by the system. So you don't even have a chance of being an NBA player or NFL player because you're already raised by the system.
Sure, or within the network in a lot of cases. Caller, the music's going to kick on any second because the commercial break's going to start here. So we'll come back right after the break. All right, we'll be right back, everybody.
Awesome.
Radio with Tom Barnes. Freaky Friday with the Woo Crew. The Gematria Effect with Zachary Hubbard. America's Evil Genius with Travis Cook. Phoenix Rising Radio with Phoenix. Quantum Connections with Lucky. And dozens more. Did you know you can listen from any telephone by dialing 641-793-7117 or call into your favorite show toll free at 833-TFR Live. Uncensored talk and news you won't hear in the mainstream media. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
Pearl Harbor lockdown, impeachment hearing experts. I'm Barbara Kusap. Security forces are responding to reports of a shooting at Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard over what's described as an ongoing security incident. It's not clear about the nature of any casualties. The base was placed on lockdown. Pearl Harbor is one of the Navy's major installations, housing the headquarters of the U.S. Pacific Fleet and is the home port of 10 destroyers and 15 submarines. A House Judiciary Committee impeachment hearing wrapped up for the day with 3 legal experts agreeing there is enough to move forward with proceedings against President Trump. But George Washington University Law School professor Jonathan Turley believes the case has yet to be made.
If you're going to remove a sitting president, then you have an obligation not to rely on inference when there's still information you could gather. And that's what I'm saying. It's not that you can't do this. You just can't do it this way.
Voting by Fiat Chrysler rank and file begins Friday now that the UAW FCA Council gave its blessing to a tentative contract agreement between the union and automaker. Correspondent Jeff McKay reports the final vote is expected to wrap up a week from today in an effort to make bonuses available by Christmas.
The proposed agreement between the United Auto Workers and Fiat Chrysler includes a $9,000 bonus per worker upon ratification. The new contract also offers a mix of lump sums and pay raises for longtime workers and a path for temporary employees to become full-time after 3 years of work.
North Korea says it will send a Christmas gift to the United States, but a top official warned that what the present contains will depend on the outcome of ongoing talks between Washington and Pyongyang. The comments come as the clock ticks closer to the country's self-imposed end-of-the-year deadline for nuclear negotiations with the Trump administration. Stocks pushed higher as the Dow added 147 points, the S&P 500 up by 20, the Nasdaq rose 46 points. I'm Barbara Cusack.
Into the truth frequency. Your protection from deception. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
This is not a valid menu. Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, True Seeker, welcome back. This is the Gematria Effect. I'm Zachary K. Hubbard. We got 2 hours of show left. If you are a first-time listener, we are a caller-driven program. If you want to phone in tonight, the number is 213-233-3998. Again, 213-233-3998. We're also streaming on YouTube at the channel Zachary K. Hubbard. Going to go out to Providence, Rhode Island. Thank you for your patience. What's going on, Providence?
How are you?
You're on.
Hello?
Yeah, you're
on.
on.
Hi. Okay. Wasn't expecting it right away. So I called in, I think 2 months ago, first time caller, Rhode Island, obviously, and I was asking about, like, the murder by numbers thing. And wanted to see what you thought about the Jimmy Carter connection with Jumanji, if you possibly looked into that, or if anyone's looked into that.
Did you say Jimmy Carter with Jumanji?
Yeah, so I remember, I think I was watching one of your live streams where it was like, he's okay with death. Right here, absolutely and completely at ease with death, right? So that equals 103, right? Oh, I gotta turn my light on. So, I ran some of the numbers on it, and I was just wondering what you might think. So, 103 for Jumanji, the next level. So, the next level after life is death, right? And the guy, he's saying he's okay with death and all that. Saturn, keeper of time, is 103. Circle of light is 103. So, I'm doing all this, like, trying to match all this shit up, or stuff up. When you spell out the phrase 666, you get 103. James Earl Carter is 103. Old man is 103. It's just, like, really strange, all the synchronicities. And, I'm hoping that this is not what's going to happen to the guy, but, yesterday's news was like he got a UTI, and I ran some of the numbers on that. Oh, the one other point I wanted to make so people could understand. So the 103, okay, 1 plus 0 plus 3, because 103 is the 27th prime number. So 1 plus 0 plus 3 plus 2 plus 7 gives you 13. So that's why I'm going on with the release of, Jumanji coming out the 13th of December. Tarot card 13 is death, So I'm just finding it kind of strange. Maybe this guy's gonna die on that day, or maybe we're gonna get a story about this, the former president dying. It's, you know what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying there? I'm pretty sure you do.
Sure. 103, though, it is interesting how it syncs with the movie, but I mean, it's also a special number to the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, which is, the federal city is named after that. Scottish is 103, so whenever I hear that
I
number.
just ran into your work.
Yeah.
I just ran into your work last year, and I found it fascinating, man. And it just blew my mind, and I just wanted to share this find with you and the people of the community, so maybe they can run their own little chart and see what the hell I'm talking about, because there's so much stuff here. It's like you got the UTI and 95 years old equals 50, and where's the other number right here? UTI is 50, and you got 95 years old, 50. Now, my mom's a nurse, and she says you can very rarely die of septic shock. If you have to get some type of virus or something to die. But being that he's old, maybe this is one way that he's going out, So, septic is 27, trying to make the connection with the 103 and the prime number. And, I also looking at here when selling out 666, you get 211. And what else do I want to say? Oh, 211. Well, I know that. I don't look at the day calculator. Days left in the year. December 13th is 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. So it's like these subtle connections. Not subtle. They actually seem like, this is what's happened to the guy, unfortunately.
Sure.
It may sound crazy, but,
well,
you see all this money on you.
I think you are right that his time is coming near. He's already the oldest living former president. And
right.
I got to go back and look at what happened during the Atlanta Braves baseball playoffs. There was some riddle with Jimmy Carter needing stitches, and I believe the Braves won their game that day 3-9. And I have to go back and look at it. Or maybe they put up 3 runs in the 9th inning to win their game. Jimmy Carter was the 39th president, and he was 39 years old, I believe, when JFK was assassinated. So I'm going to have to go back and look. There was something about that. And, I feel like the Jimmy Carter headline's probably not too far off. Is it sync with the movie? I mean, that's interesting to me, maybe. But, again, that 103 is a big number with the Scottish Rite, so I have a feeling it would have more to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, you would know more about the sports thing than I would. I don't really follow sports or know, too much about it. I used to watch it, and then I always knew it was, BS, but, how you would say, how are they doing this? How are they creating this illusion? And it makes so much sense. I mean, you hide it in plain sight. I mean, that's what you do, How do you keep something from somebody? You hide it right under their nose, It's,
right.
Some people get it, some people don't.
Right, and a lot of people don't want to get it. A lot of people want to keep living in the Matrix, eating up the mainstream, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found this really interesting, and I wanted to share it, and hopefully you and your listeners, and I'm still connecting stuff. It's really fascinating, but the main stuff is Jumanji and the next level. I just made those correlations with the next level after life is death.
Sure.
Tarot card 13, Saturn keeper of time. So the stuff we study all the time. So but yeah, thank you for listening, and you have a great night. All right, man.
You do the same. Appreciate it, friend. Take care.
All right, dude. Later.
Yeah, the only thing for me is I don't know what the connection would be between Jimmy Carter and the movie Jumanji. I mean, maybe there's something there. I understood why they did the ritual with him in Stitches and the Braves. I mean, he's from Georgia. And this whole year's postseason was synced up with the death of George H.W. Bush. That's how we were able to call a Nationals-Astros World Series at the end of the postseason, with the Nationals beating the Astros in Game 7. And I do suspect whenever Jimmy Carter goes, it will be synced up with that Braves game where he was in the headlines with the Stitches the same day the Braves had their comeback game against the Cardinals. All right, let's go out to, I believe, California. All right, let's go out to California. California? Maybe just listening. All right, California, thanks for listening. Gonna move on to the next caller. Let's go out to Philadelphia.
Hey, Zach, what's going on, man?
Another day in paradise. What's up?
I tried calling in last week, but it didn't seem like you were on.
Yeah, there was no show last week.
I'm sorry.
There was no show last week.
Okay, because I thought I heard someone say that there was something about last week. Maybe that was something they were contacting you with.
Well, there was a rerun. If I don't do the show, there'll be a rerun. So, I mean, my show was going, but it wasn't live.
Okay. I have a couple things. First off, wanted to see if you ever reviewed the Senate Bill 168.
I still haven't gone back and looked at it. I know you've been wanting me to. It's just lately, man. I mean, there just aren't enough hours in a day, so I haven't done it.
Well, I understand, man. I understand. You know, it gets like that. You know, I'm same here actually. But I guess I'll just go on to the next thing then. Last night's game against the Rockets and the Spurs. Did you hear about that game? Did you hear or see any highlights?
I saw
the game.
I saw the highlight of the ball that went right through the hoop that was ruled no basket.
Ruled no basket, yeah. Okay. And then they were up 13 points. And I don't know exactly the time, but they were up 13 points. So they lost a 13-point lead. But then the score was, I think, went to double overtime. The score was 133 to 136. So I'm not sure if that score means anything, but James Harden and Russell Westbrook missed 50 combined shots.
It's a lot of shots.
Harden went 50 combined, yes. Harden went for 11 for 38 from the field, 4 for 20 for from 3-point land, and he shot 24 free throws and so he went 24 for 24. I found that interesting. Russell Westbrook had 19 points. He went 7 for 30 from the field. He was 4 for 4 for free throws, and he was 1 for 6 from 3-point land. So I don't know if you did anything on this game, but the whole scenario with the ball going through the basket when he dunked and then they losing a 13-point lead, from a basketball perspective, you know, it's traumatizing to see those numbers.
Right.
You know, it's just garbage basketball. But there's also
it's just all of pro sports have never been a bigger joke than right now. It's just everything's so stupid. I mean, how many teams are scoring 150 points in 4 quarters? And you just watch the game. It's like a guy runs down to the basket, he's wide open, pass right through everybody, lay in. It's like really nobody's even defending the basket anymore, huh? Baseball, you know, this past baseball season, teams are up 5 runs going into the bottom of the 9th and lose the games routinely. Nobody has a closer anymore. Nobody can hang on to a 5-run lead in the 9th inning. And it's not hard to see what's happened. They've started all of this live gambling, and now the games, because they're putting out all these prop bets. And sometimes you see a prop bet and you're like, wow, I can make even money if this team closes out the game with a 3-run lead. Okay, I'm taking that bet. And the next thing you know, you lost the bet because it was a sucker's bet because they have it all set up. Yeah, that team's not going to hold on to the 3-run lead because it's all rigged. So, and honestly, in the last 2 years since all this stuff's happened, I've become less consistent at calling games. And I know the reason why. It's because so many games are just so ridiculous and absurd now. And I know it has everything to do with the real-time gambling and the real-time betting and the real-time money. So yeah, it's sports are just a complete joke now, and it's really sad that people still can't see through it. So, yep.
Exactly what I'm thinking. And I've been telling my uncle, every now and again, of course I'm in Philadelphia, so he's an Eagles fan. And, I'm just telling him, win or lose, I'm like, yo, this is going on with this game, this is going on with that game. The games are scripted.
Mm-hmm.
And, he said something to me a couple of days ago. He said, I'm starting to see what you're talking about with the games being scripted. That Thanksgiving Day game, also that night with the Cowboys and Bills, I find that very interesting that the Bills couldn't beat the Eagles at home, but they go into Dallas and not only win the game, but they control the whole game. There was a screen pass from Dak Prescott to Ezekiel Elliott, and you could see clearly that he intentionally not only missed the pass, but he intentionally threw the ball short.
Right.
I mean,
it's just a joke. It's just a joke, man. I mean, the other week, I think it was the Cardinals 49ers game where the last play with the defensive touchdown at the end screwed up the whole betting scenario. And I mean, did anyone watch that play? There's a scrum for the ball, and then all of a sudden the ball comes flying out 10 yards from under the pile, like it was a long snap out of the pile back into the end zone. I mean, it's just so easy to see that the players are in on it. They know what has to happen. It's just people are. I mean, honestly, it goes back to the same thing. People are dumb. That's why they cannot see the obvious. They can't see that sports are rigged. They can't see the elections are rigged. They can't see the obvious truth about 9/11. It's the same core problem. People, and people get mad. They say, Zach, they're not dumb. They're just conditioned. Okay, to be conditioned by this BS world and this mainstream, I'm sorry, you have to be dumb. You have to be dumb to not see through it. So, I mean, that's just ultimately, it's the same core problem with all of these things. The reason so many people reject Gematria is because they're dumb. It's the same reason that the popular YouTube channels are, their audiences are dumb. I mean, it's like people want to live in the mainstream, in the matrix, in the bullshit. I'm glad I caught myself, but yeah, it's just, it is. It's really frustrating and aggravating, but yeah, it's just, I can't believe that people are still believing in the sports games as bad as things have gotten. And I mean, the NFL, just look at what happens in the postseason every year, the incredibly bad calls, the ridiculous comebacks. I mean, I thought every NFL fan would see through the NFL the year the Patriots came back from down 25, but somehow it goes on, so.
Hey, man, I mean, you think that's bad. You thought you saw it all when you saw that Super Bowl, and then you'll just see other games, even college games. It's just like, it's like it's hard to watch. And, you had a caller that called in, I think it was 2 weeks ago, from Green Bay, and he said to you, he said, hey, it sounds bad, but he meant well. He said, because of you, I can't even watch sports anymore. And I mean, it's just like, I don't watch it anymore either. I used to love sports. I grew up a San Francisco 49ers fan. I like the Yankees. I like the Lakers. And it's just like, with the Lakers and then the whole LeBron thing being with the Lakers, and it's just, oh man, it's just hard. And even holding conversations with people, and I try not to get engaged in the conversations, but then when they start talking their little stupid stuff, then it's just like, all right, I gotta intervene. And then once I intervene and then just show them in ways that the games are rigged, it's just like, oh well, you just talking this conspiracy, and it's just like, will you shut the fuck? Excuse me.
Exactly, man. Everyone goes to the same thing, man, because everyone is so programmed. Oh, I don't do conspiracies. Yeah, I get that, but you do the mainstream. You just believe everything sold to you. You believe. I mean, it's just. I know, man. It's just everybody, and it's just. It truly is maddening, man. It would be so much easier to be one of these sleeping masses, but at the same time, it's like I definitely don't want to be that. So, yeah, I know the frustration, man.
And I'm sorry, it's one more thing. It's another thing I want to point. this Monday night game, my boy's he's a Viking. He's from Minnesota. I'm trying to get him to call back in, but it's just like, okay, I took a glance at the game. Then they came back, scored the 30th point. Then you see that the field goal kicker, he intentionally shanked.
It's so obvious, man. You can tell every time they miss the extra point. It's just like, is anyone watching the mechanics of the kicker? Because he's not even trying to follow through. He's doing like a half-ass step. It's just so easy. Every time they miss the extra point, you can tell. It's like, okay, he didn't kick it like he did every other time. He aimed his body a certain way. Exactly, man. It's like, how don't people see this? And then when you know Gematria, you know why they're missing the extra points. It's just like the Thanksgiving game. I'm always teaching people about Dallas and 13. Dallas and 13. You got to miss extra point to leave the game on 13 points in the Dallas game. And, it's the same thing every single night. It's true from college to pro. It's just like I told people one of the easiest games to see yesterday was the Memphis Tigers in college basketball would win to become 7-1 because Memphis Tigers equals 71. They were playing the Bradley Braves, which equals 71. Their football team just became 7-1 in the conference. And then lo and behold, what did the Memphis Tigers win with? 71 points to become 7-1 on the season. And, it's the same thing night after night if you look at the scores, man. It's just like I told people last week, Charlotte and Miami. I said, watch this. Anybody can go back and watch the live stream. I said, watch. I guarantee you Miami will have 36 points in the first quarter. And that's a lot of points to have in the first quarter of a basketball game. But the Miami-Charlotte game, I said, just watch. Miami will score 36 points tonight. They'll lay waste to Charlotte. Sure enough, 36 points in the first quarter. Well, how did we know that? Because Miami and Hornets both equal 36, and it was on the day leaving 36 days left in the year. And you just watch night after night. If you know Gematria, you see why the teams score the points that they do in the quarters they do. It's just clockwork every single night. And a lot of times the numbers showing up in the sports scores are the same numbers encoded in the news stories all throughout the day. So, yeah.
Oh, my God. It's just, I can probably tell how many shots Charlotte probably intentionally missed so they could be able to go back down court, and then they can keep scoring. The other teams keep scoring, so they can be able to score 36 points. Was there 67?
So exactly. So you're talking about Monday Night Football. So of course, the Seahawks win with 37 points. Vikings equals 37. And then you have 67 combined points. That's the 19th prime. Seattle equals 19. By the way, Seattle became 20-6 on Monday Night Football in that game. Seattle's the 206 area code. And so on and so forth. I mean, it's... just every week, if you know Gematria and you apply it and look at the team names and the cities, you see why the scores are what they are, week after week.
Yeah, I'm literally texting my boy at the end, that missed field goal, which was like, at the 10-yard line. And when the game was over, I said, okay, I got to come back down to reality. The score combined with 67 points, so I knew it was a 67 ritual. I'm going to ask Zach on Wednesday. And lo and behold, and I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. It's aggravating, man, and it's really pissing me off.
Well, I get it, man. We're all pissed off, man. We're so sick of the sleeping masses and being called conspiracy theorists and the obvious truth being dismissed and these people never catching on, and yeah, man, it's old. So
Billy likes to say you're a hater. Oh, you're a hater. You're just hating. You're a hater. You're a hater. And it's just like, dude, like you're not even. It's like right there in your face. Like, and you're even complaining about the calls, or you're complaining about the missed shots, or whatever, and you're calling me a hater. Right. And I'm trying to point this out to you. I know you got to get other callers and let you go, but it's just like, over and over and over again. And, how many times are the 49ers going to lose to the – I'm about to say it, but how many times the 49ers going to lose to the Ravens? Like, how many times they're going to lose to them?
Well, did you notice what happened? Did you notice what happened in the Ravens and 49ers game? Because the 49ers were 5-0 on the road, and the Ravens were 4-1 at home. Baltimore's 41, San Francisco's 50. And that really stood out to me because I was like, watch this. The Ravens win and become 5-1 at home, and the 49ers fall to 5-1 on the road, just like how the 49ers, when they went into the Super Bowl with the Ravens, they were 5-0 in Super Bowls, but then they lost their first Super Bowl, becoming 5-1. And by the way, how did that game end? With a 49-yard field goal? You know what I mean? A 49-yard field goal when the Ravens had a timeout in 40 seconds to move further up the field, but they chose to just sit there and use the whole last minute so they could kick the game-winning 49-yard field goal against the 49ers, which makes no sense. Why wouldn't you try to move up and get 5 more yards? Because honestly, you have a way better percentage chance of hitting the field goal from 5 yards further up than right at the 50-yard mark pretty much. But it's just a joke, man.
Oh, man, I didn't know that. I did not know that. I didn't watch it. It's just, I can't, man. I will pull my hair out and pull my TV off of the wall.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I can't do it, man. But there's so much more that I got to cover. I guess I'll call you back next week with that. I don't want to hold up the line anymore, but you just, I mean. And then one last, this stuff dealing with they got to keep the NFC East close, and the Eagles is always got to be the Eagles and the Cowboys, and then it's going to come down to this last game, but then the Eagles lose to the Dolphins, which I found great pleasure in, but anyway, it's just. And it's because of the fans. It's because of the fans. The fans are these people that we're talking about. This fan base is retarded. But
I know it, man. I know it. I've seen it with my own first eyes at a 49ers game. I literally saw about 20 arrests in a football game in San Francisco between the 49ers and Eagles. It was October 10th, 2010. I remember the day, but I was brutal, man. I mean, women were fighting everything. I was like, look at these people, just in my own section. All these arrests, all these people going nuts over this football game. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
All right. We'll be right back, everybody.
Components of the hemp plant. That's why more and more people who use CBD report relief from inflammation and chronic pain, balanced blood sugar and cardiovascular system, relief from muscle tensions, tremors, migraines, headaches, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on. The big question is, where do you get it? IOLife is a 99% pure CBD oil made with all organic ingredients, and it's available to TFR listeners worldwide. If you use coupon code TFR at checkout, you'll get $5 towards your order. Head on over to iolife.com now. That's AYA-life.com.
So, you love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have hard water, the Live Scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate Lime Scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
For millennia, mankind has been searching for answers to the big questions, such as, where did the universe come from? Where did we come from? Why are we here? Are we alone? And just what the heck is the Sasquatch all about? I can't promise you answers and neither can the Woo Crew, but they invite you to join them Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight in the UK, for Freaky Friday, exclusively on Truth Frequency Radio. Spirituality, multiverse, quantum mechanics, the occult, and so much conspiracy analysis that it will make your mind melt. Take my word for it. Freaky Friday. It's more than a show. It's a way of life. I am Stephen Hawking, and I am proud to be a Wookiee.
Real people, real radio.
Initiating the truth frequency. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. We're at the midway point. We got an hour and a half left. We are taking your calls the rest of the way. I saw some people in the chat were complaining about all the sports talk. But again, I really think sports is one of the best ways to wake people up to this knowledge. I mean, you can prove it every single day. You can make accurate predictions. You can often even say what the score of the game's going to be. I mean, look at the video I did on the death of Mark Hurd on October 22nd. You know, I recorded that video in the parking lot, waiting for the sweet lady who was in an appointment, and just off my phone. And he died on October 22nd. Mark Hurd equaled 122. He was the CEO of Oracle. And I said, you know, Bay Area basketball season starting today. You know, Golden State equals 122. They used to play in Oracle Arena. I said, just pay attention to how often Warriors games end with 122 points or 121 or 108, because Golden State's 122, Warriors is 121, Golden State Warriors is 108. Go and look at their box scores this year. You know, I said in that video, I said, I won't be surprised if their first game ends with 122 points. And just look. I mean, just go and look at the Warrior scores this year. See how many scores are 122, 121, 108. It's just so repetitive. And that you know, that's just one team. So, you know, if you're trying to wake people up to what's going on from the sports to the news, you know, the majority of the masses are involved in the mainstream. They like sports. They like entertainment. So if you're trying to actually wake up these sleeping masses, I mean, you got to go where they are. So for the person complaining in the chat, I saw one person complaining a whole lot. I mean, you know, call in. The line's actually not that long to call in. Call in and tell me what to talk about. Because I've been trying to reach people for 6 years in every way possible. And honestly, the greatest responses come through talking about sports. So I know sports aren't everybody's thing. And personally, I can't stand professional sports. Long before I knew Gematria, I saw they were rigged and obvious BS. But with this knowledge, you can really prove it. So anyway, let's go out to Tulsa.
Oh, what's up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Man, I got a couple of topics, but they may not be kind of like sports, but whatever. But it was just some interesting things that I had learned throughout my years of watching you and then a couple other YouTubers and stuff that I had watched. But like you had said on the numbers and stuff, I feel like the numbers is really what codes the matrix. I feel like that's part of what we have as a problem as a whole people. But I think most of the time that it's really deeper than that, because as above, so below, I think that's really real on many different occasions. Because I had seen the cross. If you just save and look at the cross, as above, so below. If you go up, down, side to side, it's basically the same thing. So I kind of think it's more symbolism, and they have to have some help, because I don't feel like they just came with all this by themselves. They had to either have some help from a different, maybe a universe, or they had to have some help inside, because it's two kind of like statistical and how lined up that it is. They just don't seem to me as a smart, like a smart person. They could do all this and get all this lined up as it is. Because they stole a lot of history and stuff from ancient Egypt and stuff. So I just think they had to have some help somewhere.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I often have the same thoughts. So, yeah.
Because I think far as wise the secret societies, I think they each have their own part. They play like the Skull and Bones. They do with the deaths of what goes in the world. Freemasons do with sports, rap, and stuff like that. Because I always wonder why black people is Freemasons. When they say in Freemason, they don't honor the black person as a Freemason. They don't count them as a Freemason. So it kind of don't make sense why Jay-Z and all these other people are Freemasons when they don't encounter as Freemasons. So it's kind of like more like go back to slavery, as you got the house people and then the field people. Like the house people always wanted to be with the slave master, but they never, you feel me? They never was gonna ever be able to fit in. So I feel like it's kind of more deeper. Because I think even the ideas of coming with football and all this stuff that they came up with, they had to have some help. I feel like even, whether it's from that what they call religion and Baphomet. They always said if you believe in a religion, that's basically believing in Baphomet, because the devil got many different names, and it says it's basically in the Bible what that says.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like they had to have some help, though, man. That's all I had to say. And it may not be on Gematria, but on the picks and stuff that I've been picking, I've been mostly going on common sense, kind of with the numbers. But I've been going on common sense, and really the upsets, the majority is in college football and college basketball. They're not morally in NBA, but they sometimes is. But majority, like how Alabama lost this week, it's kind of like common sense, like two went down, and then that they wasn't gonna make the playoffs with those two quarterbacks because they probably wouldn't pay sell tickets a lot. So it kind of made sense.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, friend. Great thoughts.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, yeah, you're welcome. You have a good night.
You too.
All right, take care. All righty, let's go out to Texas.
Hey, Zach.
Hello.
Zach, what's going on, man?
Just another day. What's on your mind?
Oh, man, so, I'm down here in Sad Dallas, man. I'm a Bunk Punny. I go by, man. I just want to, this what's been going on in my mind, me and my little partner. He like a son to me. He grew up with my son and thing. He went to Allen High School, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he played football. And everything, He got killed at a party, right? They say they shot up the house like 18 times. They got 2 boys in custody. But, it's just puzzling my mind. He got killed on the 3200 block of Peachtree Lane on the year, on the 320 day of the year. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm doing this. I just put in my son's birthday until the day he got killed. It's 42 days. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm steady trying to put this together, like, you know what I'm saying? Then sacrifice equals 73. Allen, they holding up 37, they wouldn't let him on varsity. They holding up 37, the reflection of 73 is 37. So, they all at his funeral with his football jerseys. Now, I'm trying to see if this is, what's really going on. If they, sacrifice my partner's son, for a ritual, for, just for, what is it that I'm trying to put my finger on, you know what I mean? So it's really fucking me up, man. I've been going through this shit. I went to his wake, you know what I'm saying? I went to his funeral, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's just mind-boggling to see, all the shit that I got in my notebook is starting to add up, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, and there's been a number of people who've called in over the years with similar stories and similar observations, and it does seem that this type of stuff is going on. And again, it's sick stuff, and this is why I think we as a society that have all these people in secret societies around us need to wake up, because, again, what's really going on. So I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah, I'm as suspicious as you are. So.
Yeah, man, and I'm just puzzled about it. And, this was really bothering me. I had to call in, and I've been doing my homework, and I've been trying to, open up my son's eyes, and we had a little thing for him out there. You know what I'm saying? Like a little, like they did 7-on-7 this Sunday on December the 1st. You know what I'm saying? So I was out there with the boys, and I say, man, I got one question, man. I was holding up the football, man. And I say, man, do y'all know what's the name of this football I'm holding, man? And out of all them boys, man, nobody can even tell me what the name this vesicle pipes is eat. You know what I mean?
Right. Because, I mean, who does know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I started this research. I'd never heard that in my life. I didn't even know there was such a thing. So, yeah, I mean, most of this stuff, none of us have ever been taught about it anywhere.
Right. So, I just had to, enlighten them and let them know that, you know what I'm saying, this is what, y'all got so much love about me, and do some research on it and really know and open you know what I'm saying? I was telling them to open your third eye, man, you know what I'm saying? Open your third eye. Let's know what's going on. Seek this knowledge, man. I gave one kid the Gematria calculator, but I'm going to tell him, you know what I'm saying, to go to your website and start, you know what I'm saying, because he really, you know what I'm saying, he really was, like, in tune to what I was saying, you know what I mean? So I was like, reach one, teach one. That's all I'm about, you know what I mean? So, I'm just trying to, just spread the knowledge, man, through, everybody I come across, man, they always, oh, it's a coincidence, it's this, that can't be that. I'm like, man, come on, man, this is what's going on in the world, man, right now. I mean, y'all need to wake up, man, open your eyes, man, stop being asleep, man, you know what I'm saying, to this masses, and you know what I mean, stop being a sheep out here, man, so I'm just really be, chilling in my own, cocoon, trying to reach one, teach one every day about this information that they need to grasp a hold and, come together, man, because, I'm on a revolution. I don't need to stop this shit, Zach. I get fed up every day, man, I see this shit going on. You heard me?
We feel the same way. And I love that phrase, reach one, teach one, so I'm glad to hear you use that.
Yeah. So, I'm already logged into the website and thing, man. And, I seen that Texas thing. I'm gonna get on there probably late night and, post some, just to, reach out to people that's in Texas around there so we can get together and, you know what I mean, have the revolution and start the movement, man. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what needs to happen. You and I got the same goal there, so appreciate it, friend. Keep it up. Thanks for calling in tonight.
All right, friend Zach. Hey, man, keep doing what you're doing, man, and you know what I mean? Reach one, teach one every day, man.
There you go. All right, friend. You have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right, take care. Yeah, I mean, so many people are scared of that word revolution, but that's what we need. If we don't have a revolution, then what do we got? More of the same? I don't want more of the same. I think that's the reason we're all listening to this show. I think that's the reason we all care about the truth. But I always notice people in the chat, people leave comments whenever I bring up the word revolution. Oh, Zach, now you're saying what they want you to say. It's like, I don't think they want an actual revolution. And maybe under their own terms, to transition it into something worse. They don't want an actual organic uprising from the people against this tyranny. They want people sitting on their bottoms, eating their cheesy snacks, drinking their sodas, shopping right from their phone as you can now, watching some more TV. That's what they want. They don't want people taking a stand and ending this tyranny. Let's go out to New York City.
Hey, Zach, what's going on?
What's up, man?
I got a couple points. I'm gonna try to make it quick. My first story is this. I got this from the Daily News. Is unhinged NFL Larry Johnson accused Freemason Dwayne Wade of sacrificing his son for the doctrine of the demons.
Huh.
That story came out today. Did you see that story?
I didn't know about that one. I'm going to look it up right now. Larry Johnson, Dwayne Wade.
All right, I'll read the first couple paragraphs of this article. The former NFL running back Larry Johnson accused NBA star Dwayne Wade of plotting to sacrifice his son to a powerful elite society in exchange for wealth. The bizarre Twitter attack comes in response to the controversy Thanksgiving family photo of Wade family on Instagram with the NBA All-Star 12-year-old son Zion wearing nail polish and a crop top. I didn't see what the issue with Wade family photo was all about, wrote Johnson, who is no stranger to homophobic tweets. So that came out today.
Huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. If I'm not mistaken, Larry Johnson wore the number 27 with the Chiefs. I know today leaves 27 days left in the year, that ritual number, so I'll take a peek.
Mm-hmm. All right, the next story. I just saw this story before you clicked over to me. Raven gift customary jersey signed by Lamar Jackson to Pope Francis. Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson is conquering the NFL, and now his presence can be felt in the Vatican. The Archbishop of Baltimore, William E. Laurie, gifted Pope Francis a custom-made Raven jersey signed by Jackson and head coach John Harbaugh while visiting Rome. So that's the date too.
It's almost Pope Francis's birthday too. That's December 17th. He's always got some ritual with the NFL this time of year. So, yeah, I'll have to look into that. That's very interesting. Maryland, Virgin Mary. So, yeah, it's up where the Catholic colony used to be. So, yeah, interesting.
And the other day, I think that was Sunday night, I was just flipping through the channels, and I think on Showtime, They Live was on Showtime on Sunday night. They Live.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right.
So I was just thinking about all the people who can't see. I just think about that movie, They Live.
Right, and you know, that movie really is, I really think that movie was trying to hint at this code of letters and numbers, because he puts on the glasses and then he sees different things in the written statements that he saw before, and the motto in that movie is, they live, we sleep, which sums to 74, like English, like Gematria, like Masonic, etc. So, yeah.
Yep. And the last point I wanted to make, I think I forgot. It was one more point I wanted to make. I think I forgot. But if you do the after show, I'll call in. If I got another point, I'll call in during that.
Okay, if it was about the Arizona Cardinal who got in trouble for gambling, I still got to look into that. So.
But the only thing I know is about his name, Josh Shaw, equal 113, and you know anything with 113 is deception. So.
Right.
That's the only thing I got from his name, Josh Shaw, deception, 113.
Okay.
And plus, he's 27 years old right now. So that's the only thing I got from that so far.
All right. I'll look into that, too. All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right.
Have a good night, friend.
All right.
All right. That's the man who always has the good observations. So let's go out to Texas. Texas again. What's going on, Texas?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
Not much, man. Thanks for calling in.
Zach, yes, sir. Are you aware of that movie Uncut Gems coming out with Adam Sandler?
Uncut Gems. I haven't heard about it. Tell me.
Yeah, it's about a Jewish guy in New York or somewhere, and he's like into sports gambling.
Huh.
And he always wins, but I guess, he runs into some trouble or something. But if you type in Uncut Gems in the Gematria calculator, it's 120, 48, like Illuminati, and 33, and then it's 1, 2, 3, like the order of the Illuminati.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah, it's coming out pretty soon. It's like, I saw a little commercial and thought of you, and I was like, I wonder if they're like kind of mocking at Zach on this, because it's just like the commercial. If you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like a minute long, and it's like the dude always wins and stuff. It's funny.
Okay.
But just another point to the dude out in South Dallas, man. I just pray for the peace of the Lord to be on him, man. That's awful to hear, and I I hate sometimes the anxiety that comes with being a truther and or whatever you want to call this place that God's put us in, man. And it's like, I feel like we all need to strengthen our prayer life, man, because even the apostles in the Bible, they didn't do it on their own strength, you know what I mean? And they had, with anybody who gets into this work, in a sense, you're picking up that burden, you know, and you gotta know you're gonna have adversity, you know, and so it's like we gotta strengthen our prayer life, I believe, and just wanted to throw that out there. And if anybody's struggling with where to go with that, you know, what helped me, I just honestly asked God to reveal himself to me, and I have a very close relationship with God now, and so without that, I wouldn't be able to dig into this work like I do. And another thing, I want to do some man on the street stuff, and I was wondering if you can post on your new website. Is it like a YouTube type platform, or?
Well, I'm supposed to have a new video hosting thing to upload content to. So once that piece is situated, I'll start using that and then putting that on the new site so it can't be taken down. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, we got to stay active. But that's all I had, man.
All right, appreciate it, friend. Thanks for the call.
No problem.
All right, take care. All right, let's see. We got about 6 minutes till the break. Let's go out to California.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good evening, Zach.
Thanks for calling in.
Hey, so basically, and this whole year has just been a really revelating experience for me. It's been a while since I called in, but last time I called, I was mentioning something about the sky changing and all these anomalies happening on top when everybody's looking down. Well, I've collected a lot of footage this year, and today was really, really intense as far as the clouds went. I've never seen the clouds so low. And I feel this correlates to everything that's going on in the rest of the world with politics and everything that's happening in the mainstream, because I feel the powers that be have this hidden knowledge of what's going to happen on a certain date. So that's why everything's so wacky. Why you mentioned earlier why the sports are just so outrageous. And, you know, the topics of politics from, I mean, you name it, man, from A to Z. It's just people, I mean, they're so immersed in this stuff they don't even realize just what a mockery everything is. So I watched this thing on Ashton Kutcher, and it's, you know, it's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty wacky to think that Ashton Kutcher would have a part in some of this stuff, because he did a ABC special on the underground sex trafficking stuff. And I seen this thing on Facebook where there was a thing going around, Ashton Kutcher saves 6,000 girls from being sexually trafficked or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know, I see some symbolism that's kind of correlated with what the FBI identifies as like sexual predators or whatever. So I watched this little special, and it's pretty crazy, because if you watch this thing, you're going to see the chairman that's in this little meeting with the congressional people. You're going to see like a helix in the background, like a DNA helix with the all-seeing eye. And it's kind of weird that would even be like, you know, shown in a mainstream audience, but it's like nobody picks up on it. That's why it's there. And he starts talking, and there's two individuals that are sitting right next to him. There's like an old dude, and then there's this like really weird looking female. And the whole time they're like smirking while he's talking about young children being, you know, sexually assaulted and raped and stuff, man. It's pretty graphic stuff. And the whole time these two individuals are like smirking, and I'm trying to figure out, like, why would ABC feature this story with Ashton Kutcher about, you know, that topic about underground sex trafficking, and these people are just in plain sight laughing and making weird faces. And it just goes to show that a lot of these, I mean, the fact that an actor from that 70s show and many movies, as you know, would even be featured as a spokesman for this technology that supposedly stops underground sex trafficking and stuff like that, it just goes to show, like, they're actors. So in plain sight, here you have an actor trying to convince you that he's a part of this movement and he's supposed to be saving 6,000 girls. So that's just one of the main stories that I've uncovered. But I feel like since the sky is changing rapidly, the powers have a hidden knowledge that there's going to be something happening with consciousness. And I think that's why people like you and the others that are woke right now are going to be separated from other people, because not everybody's meant to wake up. So I feel like personally that real soon here, there's going to be a consciousness shift where those that are finally woken, you know, the burden that comes with it, there might be, I don't know, a rainbow at the end of the road or something, man, because, you know, it's kind of hard to grasp all this when, you know, there's no light at the end of the tunnel, it seems like. But I don't know, I just wanted to mention that, man.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. I wasn't aware of that one story, so I'll go back and look at it. It looks like it was from about 2 years ago, huh? The Ashton Kutcher story?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and it just reminds me that earlier this year, there was that, what did they call him, the Hollywood Ripper. He was blamed for the murder of the woman Kutcher was supposed to be on a date with the night of the 43rd Grammys. I know I did some work on that earlier this year, and story was all synced up with Kutcher too, so... Yeah, I mean, it just seems that, part of what I wonder is there's all these dark rituals that we uncover around the celebrity deaths, and it's like, are these people that, like, let's just say that Ashton Kutcher really is responsible for the murder of that young woman that was put on the guy that they called the Hollywood Ripper? I mean, is it that Ashton Kutcher is really like a sociopath and a murderer and wants to kill people, or is it like, well, he's put up to this by the people who run the industry so that he can have his fame and success? And I really do think it's that latter thing, but obviously something dark and twisted and sick's going on, so.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff for sure. I mean, I just think they put all the numbers and everything in front of us, because a lot of the news stories I've realized too, they always include the number 3 and a few other numbers that are always, no matter what, included in these stories. Mm-hmm. And if you pay attention, you're always going to see the number 3. Now, whether it's 300, 3,000, or just 3 by itself, for some reason they always have to include the 3, and it makes sense, but I think it has something to do with the Trinity or the triangle.
You're right. That's exactly what it is.
That's operating us.
The music's coming on, caller. We'll be right back, everybody. Appreciate it, friend.
My name is Ella, and I'm 10 years old. I'm one of the millions of children born to parents suffering from the sheeple virus. Symptoms include the inability to think for oneself, the attention span of a goldfish, and a strong belief in government and the mainstream media. It is estimated that 1 out of every 2 children are being raised by parents infected with the sheeple virus. But there is a cure. For as little as 19 cents per day, you can become a TFR supporter and help children like me get their daily dose of truth. Together, we will make sure every child has protection from deception.
Pearl Harbor shooting, Trump impeachment proceedings. I'm Barbara Cusack. Gunshots rang out at Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard, where 3 people were wounded and the shooter allegedly took their own life. This man was looking out his window at the time and told KGMB-TV what he saw.
I saw 3 people on the ground, and I looked out in time to see the shooter, who was, I assume was a sailor because he was in uniform.
The Navy now confirms that 1 person is dead, and it is a sailor. The House Judiciary Committee's impeachment hearing heard from 4 legal scholars today. Correspondent Linda Kenyon reports 3 of them told the panel there is enough to move forward President Trump's impeachment proceedings.
Republican Jim Jordan, a staunch Trump supporter, accuses Democrats of rigging the impeachment process.
I would argue it's not a fast impeachment, it's a predetermined impeachment. Predetermined impeachment done in the most unfair partisan fashion we have ever seen.
The Judiciary Committee hearing follows the release of the Intelligence Committee's 300-page report that accuses President Trump of abusing his power and obstructing a congressional investigation.
Correspondent Jan Johnson reports some 116,000 late model BMWs are subject to recall due to a new danger posed by Takata airbag inflators.
BMW says the owners of some older 3 Series cars need to stop driving them because their airbags could explode and hurl shrapnel at them. Government documents say a driver in Australia was killed by an airbag malfunction, and 2 other people in Australia and Cyprus were injured.
The drug that curbs delusions in Parkinson's patients did the same for people with Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia in a study that was stopped early because the benefits seemed clear. Results were disclosed today at a conference in San Diego. If regulators agree with the findings, the drug could become the first treatment specifically for dementia-related psychosis and the first new medicine for Alzheimer's in nearly 2 decades. I'm Barbara Kusak.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal. More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. We're in the final hour. We're going to be taking your calls the rest of the way. Before I go back out to the callers, what I meant to talk about at the beginning of the show, and I forgot, is that the Free to Find Truth site has launched, freetofindtruth.com. Again, it's the social media platform for truth seekers. I am paying the bill for it right now, but I don't want you to think of it as my site. I want you to think of it as a community site. And again, it's open to all people. I saw somebody left a comment in the chat maybe an hour ago, and sorry I didn't respond earlier. Hopefully you're still here. But you asked, is it okay if Mark Passio joins? I mean, if that was a sincere question, yeah, anybody can join. I mean, even if I don't like them, people like Richie from Boston, someone who I don't care for at all, he's welcome to join the site. Anyone's welcome to join the site. It's for all people. You know me, I'm not into flat earth. If you want to go there and start a flat earth community, by all means. The whole point of this site is to create a platform where people can be free to share truth without fear of censorship, without fear of having their content taken down. I always think about how I've lost so many channels, and with each channel lost, there's been so many great comments deleted. I mean, my first channel, back when I actually got views and, you know, a typical video had 300 comments. I mean, there was a lot of really great comments there. When YouTube took down the channel, all of that went with it. So in this place, it will be, you know, something where conversations can last, research can last, communication can last, and then also the other point of the website is for people to make new connections. So if you go to the site, you can set up a group on there, you can make it public, you can make it private, you can make it by invitation. You can try to find people in your community. So it's going to take time to build up the website, but I hope that eventually there'll be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, who knows, millions of people there. I don't even know if there's millions of people who are awake or care about the truth, honestly, but the point is, in time as the numbers grow, you'll be more likely to find people in your community, make new friends, make new relationships, you know. So this is the purpose of the site. It is now live. I know people have been able to successfully sign up. A caller called in earlier and said, that caller, though, when he calls in, I think he's usually intoxicated. But he said he was having trouble getting signed up. If you follow the instructions, you should be able to sign up successfully. It's supposed to send you a confirmation email. If that doesn't come, maybe just try again one more time. But a lot of people have successfully signed up. I think there's already about 500 people on the site. So hopefully the numbers grow a whole lot from there. It launched yesterday. And a lot of people asked, was there a specific reason you launched it today? No. It was supposed to be done weeks ago. But yesterday was the day they finally finished the project. So again, I don't have web development skills. I paid people who did have those skills to do it. And I hired a company that's here in Washington State near me. So that... for those of you who don't know, I built a website I had somebody build a website like this 3 years ago. It was called All for Truth. And I honestly, I would have loved to have used that name again, but they've kept that All for Truth name. And I didn't handle things right because I would have liked to have kept that name. But I did build a website like this 3 years ago, and I trusted two young gentlemen who were all the way across the country from me. I'm in Washington State. They were in Florida. And... I really do believe that they purposefully reached out to do it just to sabotage the project as they did. So that's not going to happen this time. I hired people that are right next door, so if there's a problem, I can go right down there and get it straightened out. But anyway, the site is live, 100% free to sign up. Another site did launch as well yesterday, GematriaEffect.news. I'm going to start posting my videos and blog content there. There's also another Gematria calculator there in case anything ever happened to Derek's site. You know, in times where Derek's site's gone down, a lot of people have been like, oh, how am I going to do my Gematria? Derek's site's not working. So now there is another site on the web where there's a calculator. And very shortly, I'm hoping within the week, a week out from now at the max, I'll be able to give you the announcement where you can download the app so you can have it on your phone. And you won't need an internet connection, but you'll have a nice Gematria calculator that you can use anytime. Well, I guess as long as you have a phone and your phone's charged. So, and you know, also I saw somebody left a really lengthy comment about how disappointed they are that I'm allowing people with religious beliefs to be on the site. And I was like, is this a real comment? I know it is because the person's been following me for years, and they're like my number one follower skeptic, but they think I should have made the website so that no one who's religious is allowed. But again, I mean, my whole idea is that, you know, the world's a big place. There's a lot of beliefs. There's a lot of ideas. And, you know, obviously I'm not the biggest fan of religion. I'm not religious myself. But there are people who follow this work who are religious, and they care about making a better world, and they care about this research. And, again, I mean, You're never gonna have a group of people where everyone has the same background and beliefs. So the only rule on Free to Find Truth is no trolling, no harassing, no threatening other people. And if you have a problem with something that somebody posted, and again, you know, it's not something that's threatening or harassing other people, but just like you have a problem because, you know, for example, they're a flat earther and you're not, or, you know, they're a Muslim or a Christian and you're not. I mean, just agree to disagree. It will be a big community. Just, you know, participate in the things you want to participate in. Make friends, you know, make connections with the people that you most align with. But also, my overall goal is eventually, the one thing that hasn't been added to the site that needs to be added and that they're working on and figuring out how to do is create a system-wide notification so that everybody can get a message and try to do things as a larger group. Again, right from the comfort of our own homes or wherever we are, you know, using social media. If we could all get on and help an idea go viral or a piece of information go viral, do things like that as a community, and then eventually form real organization and network and pound the pavement where we need to pound the pavement. So that's the idea, that's the goal. And anyway, that said, let's go back out to the callers. Again, freetofindtruth.com if you want to sign up. Hopefully you do. But let's go back. I believe it's Cleveland who's up next. What's going on, Cleveland?
Hey, Zach, can you hear me fine?
Loud and clear. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, man? I wanted to touch on a few things real quick. First thing I wanted to say, man, is that I remember, a couple years back, or before the time you uploaded or jumped on Patreon, and before the books, your book sales really, started to jump off. Now, I remember the time when, you were actually thinking about hanging this up, man, and throwing in the towel because you wasn't really receiving, the type of support that you were warranted,
Well,
and I remember
just to remind what happened is, the work wasn't getting supported, and then also just my lady was fed up because I had the FBI come to the house and threaten me and say that I'd said something that I hadn't said, and she was just like, you gotta stop and move on. This is just like, it's not worth it. No one's supporting you, and now you're getting yourself in trouble with the feds, and so. But I put out that video saying I think this is the end of the road, but then everybody jumped on board and supported. So. Anyway, that's how that worked out.
Well, no, you know what? There's a few things that played into. I can imagine there was a few things that were, was going on in your life at that point that was making you feel the way that you felt. And I guess the point I was trying to get to was that, I see that there's been like a major, shift since then versus where you're at now, man. And I just would like to congratulate you because I can imagine how it feels to, put in hard work, to put in effort, and your blood, your sweat, your tears into something, and then to actually, begin to see it, pay off, especially financially, man, because, nothing runs off of fumes, you know what I mean? So, you got to make a living in this world, So I just want to say, I wanted to, congratulate you on that, man. And, with the success of the launch of the website as well, man, that's a pretty big thing. One more thing a couple more things I wanted to say. There's a rapper out. His name is Cambatta, Cambatta. He's actually been out for a few years. He's more like an underground type of rapper. But about a year ago, he dropped an album called Kambala. Like it's kind of the name of the album was kind of like a play on his rap name with a mix of Kabbalah. So he named it Kambala. So you can just imagine what he talks about on the album. So, anybody out there that's, into, like hip hop and rap music, I definitely recommend checking out Kambala. Holy Ghost was another album that he dropped like before Kambala, which is pretty good too. But the Kambala album is very interesting. He talks about Gematria. He even says the words Gematria a couple of times, So when you listen to the things he says, it's really eye-provoking, man. He has there's a self-titled song on the Kambala album named Kambala. That's a pretty dope song, man. He also has a song on there called Hiram Abiff. He talks about a lot of esoteric, secret society type of things, man. He kind of mixes it with, the street, religion, the experimentation with, drugs like hallucinogens and things like that. I mean, it's pretty interesting, man. So, to, yourself and the listeners, anyone out there who's interested in, rap music, hip hop music, with that's more substantive, it has more of a meaning and a message behind it. Definitely recommend checking out Kambala, man, and specifically the album Kambala. I think one of the last things I want to say, man, is pertaining to the launch date of the website that you just launched yesterday. Now, out of all the numbers that you can think of, Zach, in your life that you publicly shared with, your audience over the years when it comes to the organic side of the matrix is what we call it. Out of all the numbers that you've shared with us in your own personal life that connect to you and your family, or just out of all those numbers, what number would you say? I'm going to see, can you guess it first, Zach, before I say what I'm going to say? What number would you say will probably be the most significant or the most the biggest number that kind of like stands out the most to you when you think about yourself and the connection with you and your family?
Well, it's got to be 89.
All right, Zach, I kind of knew you would say that. So this is what I'm going to say, and I'll leave it at this. If you go to the 13-moon calendar and you look for December 3rd, the day your website launched, you will find that December 3rd falls on the 5th moon and the 19th day. 5/19. As of the 5th moon and the 19th day, there is precisely 8 moons and 9 days remaining in the calendar. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And yeah, when I saw that you launched yesterday, I was like, wow. I kind of put that, it made me think about, the time you talked about 89. But yeah, as of on December 3rd, falls on 5/19. As of 5/19, there's 8 moons and 9 days.
Huh.
That's pretty much all I got for you, man.
Maybe it was meant to be then.
I appreciate the time.
Appreciate it as always,
Absolutely.
friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, friend. Appreciate it. You have a good night.
Thank you, sir.
All right, take care. 89, huh? Let's go out to, by the way, the person in Minnesota who just hung up, you were next in line. You hung up just a second too early. Man. Let's go out to Texas. What's going on, Texas?
Jack, what's going on, sir? How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for calling back.
Not much, man. Not much. So we were just calling in. We were listening tonight, and my man from New York that always calls in with the 3 quick points, he made the mention about the guy from, I forget what team, the guy who got suspended, Arizona for the Cardinals, who got caught betting on games and was suspended.
Right.
I haven't finished the book completely yet. That's crazy. But have you covered Pete Rose in your book?
I don't think I actually wrote about Pete Rose in my book. That would have been a good thing to put in there, but I'm pretty sure I did not. I'm pretty sure I left that out.
Okay. So the reason I bring Pete Rose up and then this guy that got caught betting on games is, what do you think are the chances that these dudes were using the Gematria that's used in the games to bet? And they were using it to win bets because they know how it's being applied, or they know that it's being used on these games. Neither one of them were found fixing their own games in order to win bets. They were just found betting on sports or their sport in general.
Right.
So you would think the harshness, or the worst part about betting on your own sport would be if you're betting on your own game and you're doing something to influence the outcome in order to win that bet. But he's placing prop bets on other games.
Right.
So what do you think of the chances that they basically just got salty because they were using the knowledge against them? And that's why Pete Rose originally got the lifetime ban, and why nobody's done it since, or at least has been caught doing it since.
I think it's entirely possible. So, yeah, it could make sense.
I just feel like a lifetime ban and you weren't caught fixing your own games, that's pretty serious.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? If the people, obviously the commissioners and whatnot, who know what's being used against the players or how the games are being controlled, and he's using that to his advantage, knowing that information, that makes sense. So basically, we just wanted to throw that in. Not too much tonight. Unfortunately, life's busy, kids, holidays, work. So
sure.
We'll try to do some more decoding and come back with some more to contribute next week.
Appreciate that, friend. You have a good night. Thank you.
We did just finish. We just got signed up. You signed up? Did you finish? We just signed up for the website though, so we are on the website. So we'll be on there. And we'll be active. We'll post on there as well.
Very cool. Glad to hear that. All right, appreciate it, friend.
All right. Take care, sir.
All right, yeah, take care. All right, very cool. And just so you guys know, the website's not a Gematria website. It's not just about posting Gematria. I mean, it's for all people, for all kinds of truth research. So just to make sure that's clear. All right, let's go out to New York.
Hey Zach, how's it going, man?
What's up, Michael?
Not much. Hey, I'm gonna just so you know, I'm join the website soon, and I wanted to run something by you if you didn't already know. We're talking about the whole Murder by Numbers, the song, and then the movie and all that.
Right.
Well, I watched the movie the other day, and it kind of does have something to do with Gematria and stuff. Because it's like there's like a number in there, there's like 330, and there's a bunch of numbers in the movie. So there is, because what it's about is about these two kids murdered this older lady, and then these two cops are like investigating. They can't seem to find out what's going on, and at the end, they find out what's going on. But yeah, the movie has a lot to do with numbers and stuff. Also, I wanted to bring by your attention. There's an actual Murder by Numbers. There's an actual show, a TV show out there called Murder by Numbers, and there's 2 seasons. I haven't watched it yet, but there's 2 seasons to that show. It's called Murder by Numbers.
I think it's on Investigation Discovery, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen that on there. And I figured I'd run it by your attention if you didn't know already. But that's pretty much all I had.
Well, I appreciate it, Michael. The name of the movie that you just brought up, did you give me the title?
Well, no, it was the movie with the Murder by Numbers with the actual movie with Sandra Bullock.
Oh, it was actually that movie. Okay, got it.
I watched the movie the other day, and it kind of does have something to do with murder. Murder and they do throw some numbers around. So yeah, I mean, it's all coded out. We all know that.
Sure.
So
sure. All right. Thanks, Michael.
That's all I had.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Zach.
All right. Have a good night.
All right, man. You too. Bye.
And I haven't seen it myself, but I've had multiple people comment that in the new Netflix film, I think it's called The Irishman, gangster film, Martin Scorsese film, that the big murder scene in the film happens in house number 83. And of course, murder equals 83, just like how the song Murder by Numbers came out in 83, like how the movie Murder by Numbers, the word murder, the E's changed to a 3, and the B in by is changed to an 8, 3883. And the name Sandra Bullock at the top of that movie poster equals 83. Just again and again. You just you pay attention. You see how the same numbers are put right before your eyes. Let's go out to Maryland. Maryland, you're on.
Hey, myself, I actually just called in and keep listening, man.
Well,
they keep messing with your live feed, so I had to kind of just chime in through the phone system.
Got it. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, friend. You have a good night.
You as well, man.
All right. Take care. All right. Next up, Kentucky. How are you, Kentucky?
Hey, Zach.
Hey.
All right. So the reason I was calling is because I was thinking with this whole Pearl Harbor shooting today.
Right.
It just kind of reminded me about how the Pearl Harbor movie came out like months before 9/11, and I just kind of think it's interesting. So I went ahead and looked at the release date of Pearl Harbor. It was May 25th. So from May 25th to today is a span of 194 days, and you might know what that is. September 11th equals 194, and 119 also equals 194, and Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, that also equals 119.
Right. Yeah, those are good catches. That's very interesting. So we'll see if they have more fireworks for us before the end of 2019. Again, 19 is that chaos number. I've noticed Fox keeps advertising some sitcom that's coming out. I think it's a sitcom, but like the quick commercial they show, something about Christmas is canceled. So just keep wondering if that could be some
Really?
predictive programming.
Oh, you know what's so interesting about that? I posted on the new website earlier that you know how this whole Christmas gift thing with North Korea or whatever. Well, this Christmas has numerology of 76 and 22, like bomb.
Packers 101. I noticed that Christmas gift that they keep emphasizing with the North Korea story, it equals 152. And then they said North Korea did something similar on Independence Day with a Independence Day gift, which I don't even remember that story. But from Independence Day to the December 3rd news story yesterday was 152 days, like Christmas gifts 152. So trying to think where they might be going with that one. Yeah.
Yep, possibly. Also, I also noticed that Christmas bomb and Christmas Eve are 142 and 52, like terrorist. So I don't know if maybe they could do something like that. But I don't really know if they'd call North Korea, terrorists. But who knows, right?
Sure. Well, it is interesting. I do appreciate the heads up. Yeah, that's some good decoding there. Nice work.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you're welcome. You take care. Now, the next caller is Michigan. And Michigan, I'm going to wait until the break's over because the commercial is going to start in about 30 seconds. And I imagine you want to talk for longer than 30 seconds so we don't get interrupted. For anybody who'd like to call in tonight, we've had a lot less callers than normal. I noticed the viewership's less than normal. I imagine people aren't getting the notification. Seems like the censorship's up this week because I'm having trouble even getting a video up to 1,000 views. But if you do want to call in tonight, good night to call in because there's only one person in line right now. Number is 213-233-3998. And I believe the number's on the bottom of the YouTube screen if you're watching the live stream. But again, 213-233-3998. And music should be kicking in any second here. So we'll be back. And by the way, I saw somebody say, what's with the commercials tonight? There's always been commercials on Truth Frequency Radio. I've been doing this show for 3 years. So those are the commercials for Truth Frequency Radio, the network this is broadcast on every Wednesday. Oh, there we go. Be right back, everybody.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. By Christine, great for heart palpitations. By Ann, before I started using this product, every afternoon, my ankles and my hands would be swollen. That doesn't happen anymore. So if that part of their advertising is true, I have to assume that the rest of it is also. Not to mention that when I had my yearly blood test, only a few weeks after beginning to use this product, my cholesterol had dropped over 30 points. I'm going to continue to take it. By Croc, I love this product. It really works. By Brad, works great, thank you. Tell us your story. Get your Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slows circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM.
Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
He was the deputy director of MI6, Britain's most senior diplomat. He was knighted by the Queen and in charge of thousands of highly trained spies. But he was also a member of the Paedophile Information Exchange. He had 45 diaries full of sex fantasies with children. His friend was the private secretary of Margaret Thatcher. He strangled a child and hit another with his car. He raped young boys and organized orgies with children for other politicians.
The Enigma Channel, intelligent television for planet Earth. EnigmaTV.com.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No hate, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. It is the final 30 minutes. We'll be taking your calls the rest of the way as long as we got callers. And, well, it looks like quite a few people phoned in over the break. Who did I say was next in line? Let me see. Let me go out to Michigan. It must have been Michigan who was next. Oh, no. I think it was Maryland. I'm sorry, you guys. Doing a bad job here. Maryland, were you next in line?
No, sir. No, I'd already called in.
You were just listening. Yeah, my fault, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Now.
All right. Yeah, you take care.
Don't worry.
Okay. Let me see. Was it Michigan next? I'm losing my mind here. Michigan, you're on.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Michigan.
Yes.
Hey, this is Lawrence.
What's
Great
up?
show.
What's up, man? Oh, hey, Lawrence. Good to hear from you. Thanks, man.
Hey, man. Everything's great. New website and everything. That's awesome. Hey, I just wanted to say, can you hear me right now?
Oh, yeah, you're loud and clear. You're perfect.
Good. Your work is so excellent. Your book is unbelievable. That's just, thank you. But what I want to say is, what are we really being distracted from, right? And I think it's put in our face. Like, most of it's mockery, wouldn't you say? So I could really say that if we were to take a good hard look, or an easy look, really, because it's not that hard, at the novels put forth to us from our friends Brave New World and 1984, both of the novels have to do with an idea of control over the populace in the future, right? Mm-hmm. One of them is based over military control, like strong arm control, and the other one is based off of a soft control, like a pharmaceutical control, right? Mm-hmm. But actually, both are being applied in our day and age, and I think everybody knows that. But my point is really this: with the Gematria, with the sports, with the fake politician actors, let's just call them the same thing, all that shit. What are we really being distracted from? So what? My answer, I'm just gonna shove this out really quick, and then I'll hush up. I think that we're being distracted away from the idea. Not only are we all being made to fight, Because what does fighting equal is elimination. It doesn't equal prosperous, so elimination. So what are we going to be replaced by? I would say an engineered species, because when I was in my college time, it was all about the human genome, and all of a sudden we don't hear about that shit. It's because they've got it figured out, So I think I interpret everything from entertainment, sports, politics, all of it, to be completely destructive and to contribute towards an overall destructive environment for the individual, ultimately in his heart. And we have to resist that, man, whether we're black, white, anything. I hear everybody coming together on this platform. It's awesome. It's like nothing I've ever heard before. But you see the destruction that's being sent to us. And it's not good, Everything from entertainment, everything. Why is everybody always fighting,
Sure.
So, follow up on that, dude. Tell me something.
Well, I was going to say, I think what we're distracted from is...
What is the Gematria protecting us from? What are we not to see? Is it the transhuman agenda? Is it the fake alien hoax? What is it that we're not supposed to look at that all this is blinding us from? Now that we know that there's a smoke screen and we've analyzed every fucking single aspect of the smoke screen, why is the fucking smoke screen there, and what is it obscuring our vision away from? Is what my point.
Sure, and I think it boils down to the fact that we're not free. I think that's the big lie, that we're free, and we're not, and we're being used for somebody else's or some other thing's benefit. And what is the end game? It's hard to say exactly what the end game is. Is it something like transhumanism or perfecting the species in their eyes? I mean, it could be, but I think the big lie is that we're free, because I know we're not. And everybody should know that. I mean, from a young age, we're made to go to the state system school, and we're made to participate in this system. And once we get out, we're supposed to be essentially economic instruments, paying our taxes, contributing to the system.
Yeah, that's our main function.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the big lie. People don't see how we're used.
That's an idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if we look at the philosophy of what these people adhere to, I think we could take a look at the work of Madame Blavatsky, and you could see that she's easily tied to the United Nations and all that kind of thing. So these people are obviously of a Luciferian agenda. Lucifer being the constructor, and then the devil being the destroyer. It's a left and a right arm with the same implement. You know what I mean? So we see all that, and how they're attacking us with that same platform, through duality, basically. But let me try to reel in my point. Help me out, Zach.
Well, I see where you're going. But yeah, I mean, we're on the same page. So it is a big line. We need to identify what it is all about, and where they're taking us as a society, as a species.
Yeah. Yeah, we've completely identified the means that they're obscuring our vision through this Gematria. I mean, it's obvious, and it's a tag mark throughout history, because who writes history? The victors and all that. Just go look in a high school right now in history class, and what is their version of the controlled demolitions in New York going to be?
Exactly.
I think it'll be a little bit different than the language I just quickly described. But regardless, this evidence persists, and I love it, because I have this old school Encyclopedia Britannica is kind of a decorative piece in my house. I mean, it's kind of cool in a way, but what I'm saying is this is ever rolling, and what is the intent? And think about all the video and all that, and the way it can be construed, people of this generation, like right now, you and me, we're all madmen because just look at this camera footage of Christmas Day or at Walmart and it's like, oh, all these people need to be destroyed. Can't you just see them writing that?
Sure.
Like some Orwellian novel that they're going to show kids in school in the future.
Well, it's just like how our generation, when we grew up, they made it seem like, we're a greater people because we're not the dumb people that wake up in the morning and go and harvest our fruits and vegetables. Like, that was just some Neanderthal thing to do. And really, you think about it, it's like, well, you know what? Those people
I
are
grew
actually a
up
lot
in
more
Michigan.
free.
They taught me the same thing. Like,
Right.
oh, we're so smart because we're not pulling roots out of the ground.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, they're always gonna present the image they want, and yeah, I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, that could be the future 200 years from now. We had to get rid of those people because look at them. Here's their footage from.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. So I get it, man.
May I shine the light on just a couple things real quick before I get out?
Sure.
I want to say that I suspect that there's like, I really hate to be like polar in this respect, but let's call it a gay satanic agenda, like attacking males, attacking the heart of the family, destroying the family unit, just like in the old school, like Alex Jones said before he turned crazy, to the crazy side and all that, or whatever the public perception, you know what I mean? Like his evolution as a character. Let's just think of it that way. But honestly, there's a total attack on the family unit. Like, Zach, you think you're going to hang out with your sweet lady and have a kid and raise a child without all of us having to say something about it? You're fucking wrong.
Sure.
Dude, I'm not here to tell you that. That's craziness, dude. But that's what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
It's not about us, dude. It's about our kids. And that's why it's about the music and the entertainment and all that. And Disney, it's attacking the children right away, dude. It's so crazy.
Indeed.
Anyway, I'm gonna get out of the way. I'm bantering at this point.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, friend. You have a good night.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, man. Thank you.
All right. Take care, friend. Okay. Let's go out to Minnesota. Minnesota, you're up.
Hey, Zach. How's it going?
It's going well. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I'll be quick. I was listening most of the time. Mikhail Kalashnikov, creator of the AK-47, dies, apparently, according to New York Times, at 94 on Monday. Didn't get to do the numerology on that yet, but just thought I'd kind of put that out there. Kind of an interesting story. That's what the New York Times says, amongst others. So, who knows? Another thing, you have you have some great people that call in, man. You really do. Kind of piggybacking on what the other guy just said, it's nothing I've ever seen before. It's people just kind of, they get it. The community gets it. They can see it. And then I just turned 30 this year, and I'm looking at the kids, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and I'm just thinking to myself, God, they're dumb. It's tough, and it's tough to present this kind of information or anything that has to do with questioning what goes on around us. It's so difficult to bring it up. And I think Gematria is a little, I don't want to say advanced, but it's a little complex for the individual who's not even going to question something like, no plane footage at the Pentagon, no salvage parts, no rummage, a 2-car garage hole that was created at the Pentagon. I mean, just off the top of my head, just an example. People who aren't even going to think of that it's going to be difficult for them to see something like numerology. Or maybe I could be wrong, but something like numerology and the connections with it. I think that there needs to be like steps and layers that people have to go through, and it's almost like you got to hold their fucking hand. Excuse me, like hold their hand. You know what I mean? And of course you do. That's really all I got for you, Zach. And thank you so much for all you do, brother.
Sure,
really
you're welcome.
Appreciate the work and keep your head up.
I just want to say you're absolutely correct. And the way it was for me was, from the time 9/11 happened until 2013 when I figured this out. I was always trying to, because I didn't know what Gematria was. I didn't have any clue about any of this, but I was just always trying to explain people the obvious things, like what you said. Like, come on, you guys. A plane supposedly flew into the Pentagon, and they can't give us any footage besides like the 3-frame thing, whatever this is. That it looks like the blob could have hit the Pentagon. And so many people, you're right. They're not willing to question that. I'd say, what about Building 7? It must have been like, what, Building 7? Well, I never even heard of Building 7. And it's like, yeah. And then, they act like it never even happened. It's like, okay, I'm telling you something that's a documented.
Yeah, they act like it.
Right. So.
Yeah, they act like it never happened. They pretend like it just doesn't exist.
Right. Like, I never heard Anderson Cooper talk about that before, so it must have never happened. And so,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, for 10 years, it was like that with me, just pointing out the obvious. And I was right about a lot of things, too, because, like, when they were coming and presenting the whole thing about the weapons of mass destruction, I need to go to war, I was like, just watch. There won't be any weapons of mass destruction. If there is, they'll just make up some BS. It'll just be obvious. And, they didn't even go as far to make up some BS. They just acted like, well, we never found it, but who cares? We're going to war. And just like nobody around me seemed to care or catch on to anything. And it just drove me nuts for years. And, I isolated a lot of people, and
me too. Yeah,
I'm thinking. So you're
throughout
30.
my 20s, man.
Yeah, you would have just been 12 years old when 9/11 happened, but you're pretty cognitive when you're 12. But yeah. So
it was one of the biggest events in my life, and it's just you tell some people, and it's like you listen to the stuff now, and you see the military commercials, like when I was growing up, they were recruiting for the war. You see, I have family members who are military, support our troops, and you just whole kind of, it's like, dude, you murdered 3,000 people plus were murdered on 9/11. Okay, and it was
book, and I think the sports games might be rigged. This guy, author named Zachary Hubbard, he wrote this book, Letters and Numbers, and it's really interesting book, and it's very undeniable truth that there might be something to this Gematria thing. So you should check it out. So it's something about being gentle, because people is like, you grew up in the family and then all that, and then no one really wants to be the black sheep. And if you grow up in a household where everybody is a sports fan, and then you figure something out like this, even if you know it's truth, are you going to tell everybody, oh, everybody, we've been lied to. This all thing's a hoax. How everybody's going to feel about that? Get beat up for that.
You're right about that, Izzy. Izzy, we ran out of show, but good parting words. Appreciate that call, man. Have a good night, everybody. We'll be back next week. All right, take care. All right, everybody. That is the end of the show. The broadcast is over on TFR. I'm thinking about ending this live stream and coming back on and doing another live stream. I don't know, like, if I should be letting this bother me so much, but I swear it really is. This whole Nick Fuentes Groypers thing is driving me nuts. Like, is this organic, or is this like controlled opposition being pushed so heavily? It's just everywhere I turn, everyone is talking about him, and I see all these. It's like, how can so many like 50-year-old men be worshiping a 21-year-old kid who doesn't know anything about anything? God, it's driving me nuts. And it's like, the reason it's driving me nuts, it's not jealousy, but it's like, I don't want to say that I'm jealous of this, but it just pisses me off because I see like an actual movement happening behind this person, even if it is controlled. There's obviously a lot of people getting behind it, just like Owen Benjamin, who I also can't stand. These are the new YouTube truthers, just the white supremacist, racist, mainstream media validators. Anyway, it's just making me sick. It's like, man, as hard as I've worked for 6 years to put out awesome